Welcome back to the Fix Boy. Now here with Ari Javi.
Hey.
Right now we have a special guest in the building in his
building.
I'm very fortunate to be in here.
Yep.
I'm gonna get the people and the answers that they've been looking for. The former CEO of SSL, Zachary Harding.
Yo, I wasn't even sure where he's going. What the hell? It's just a joke.
It's a joke. Zachary, stop ducking. It's Jeremy Harding in the building. We're in the studio, we're in this place. I mean, I'm grateful to be here.
Right? Yes.
Studio,
You just heard one of
presence
his
in dancehall.
legendary rhythm. Turned 25 this year? 25 or 26?
Is it really? I haven't been counting.
Last year, Shade Room posted and it was
Okay.
celebrating a major anniversary.
Liquid Rhythm.
No.
Oh,
Sim Simmer.
Sim Simmer. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Jeremy, remember when the thing them released?
Because it was just like yesterday to me. I don't know. It doesn't feel that long.
Really? It doesn't
Yeah.
feel so long.
Yeah, 1997.
Yeah, wow.
I thought it was 98.
97.
Well, one of them. Because last year it was a major thing and
Right.
people did the challenge and
Right,
whatever.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
yeah. And
it's
the
even
re-release
them
and
things
everything.
that when you as a producer, we did ask Beanie Man, for him as the artist to create the song. But you're obviously the producer of the rhythm. When you see the longevity and the far-reaching global impact of the rhythm, even up to this day, that is one of the songs that really is remembered or associated with the artist. Like how you feel as a producer.
You feel a sense of elation. You feel like if it's the one record that you'd ever do that can live for so long, that it was all worth it. You know what I mean? Some people might produce 100, 200 records and nobody remembers them after 2 months.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
to have a record that has had such an impact and a continued impact, which really means that it's crossing over generations too as well. You know what I'm saying? So the old people still listen to it, but the younger kids still want to listen to it. The new club DJs still want to play it. You know, people still want to do covers of it. People are still using bits and pieces of the words and sampling it and putting into new records. And, you know what I mean? And it still becomes like a hallmark dancehall record, like to non-dancehall lovers. But if you go anywhere on the planet and say, we need to play a dancehall song that everybody will know, guarantee you play Sim Simmer and the place is going to tear down.
Yeah.
I want to say congratulations on the gold certification, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
fantastic
privately,
as
but we
well.
are telling publicly now, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's fantastic.
Big look.
Although we always had this suspicion that it had gone gold a long time ago.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But the streaming era, it kind of made them be able to kind of recalculate and kind of put things back together. And I think back then it was way harder to track the sales. Let's just put it that way. You know what I'm
fair.
saying? To kind of thing. And not because I'm trying to make a slight at VP Records. I don't really mean it in that way. But I mean, it's a lot of brick and mortar, we call it sales, in small record shops that don't report sales necessarily. So a lot of the Jamaican shops like in Atlanta and New York and in Brixton and in all over the place selling copies of the record.
Yeah.
But they're not reporting it to, SoundScan to get an accurate reflection, you know what I mean? Of like how many records are you selling? You know, a lot of West Indian Day fairs and like all that type of thing. You're selling records and the little tent them and you're selling the cassette them and the CD them and so I think you should be able to judge by the popularity of the record though. That you're saying to yourself, okay, the record is way more popular if you play that record.
Yeah.
If you go online and see them playing it across the world all over the place or interviewing people, similar to the lyrics.
Yeah.
You're saying like, this ain't about 500,000 copies sold
No,
in
it's
20
not.
years. This is way more.
Way more.
This song is way more popular than that.
Tell me something though, like how many doors did this rhythm and by extension, who am I open up for you in music?
It opened up everything. It put me on a map. It got me a publishing deal. First of all, with EMI Publishing, number one. It established my presence in Jamaica as a legit, viable young producer. And at the time, Dave Kelly was still working under Penthouse Records and he was just about to break out into his own studio and label. And I had my own studio. He came and visited my little spot and it was all digital and he was kind of looking to see what was going on. And there was a competitive vibe that developed because a lot of the early artists I recorded were considered his artists. Like Cabra and Cheek and a bunch of guys and Spragga Benz and you know what I'm saying? And so after I'd had success with that rhythm, then there was a little bit of awkward period where those artists wouldn't record for me anymore, and they were saying that, well, they kind of felt torn now because Dave was like, yo, you guys are my camp. Who's this new guy, Jeremy Harding, that you guys are voicing for, and Ray. It was never really like out what they said, but that was the kind of energy that you felt around it.
Politics.
However, that also to me said, oh, well, if I'm at a point where now I've now become a problem, that means I've arrived, that I'm significant now, you know what I mean? To be like in question as to whether or not who should the artist voice for, me or Dave or whatsoever. So it was definitely that kind of moment where you kind of said like, bro, I think you're now officially a part of what's happening. You know what I mean? You're making a difference. So it was massive.
So even though you saw that energy and, you know, that little bad vibe during that time, what kind of motivated you or pushed you to continue doing this and get more artists on board?
Because the thing is, at the time I was kind of building my own little camp. So we were happy to have other people as guests, so to speak, in our house, but we were focusing on building our camp. We had Sean, we had the Dirty Cup crew. Don Youth was a part of what was going on. You know, early Lexus was around us too as well. Assassin was there. I'm not saying he was part of my camp, but we had a bunch of young artists who we were working with and breaking, Mr. Vegas. So we felt that we had enough of a swell that, all right, even if this guy don't want to voice for us again, we can now continue with these people who are pushing, and let's dip into the pool of dancehall and get another sort of big star and kind of continue on. You know, we don't need to rely necessarily on the people who are making the hits of the day, because we were trying to break out ourselves. And at the same time, too, we had the support of young sound systems, Syndicate and Renaissance at the time. So we had strong backing in the streets, so to speak, because they were out there playing the records and doing the dubs and playing the songs at the parties. So if you went to a Travelers Stone Love event, it would be Travelers Stone Love Syndicate, Renaissance, the uptown and the downtown, the two sounds. So if Travelers wasn't playing my record or Stone Love, Renaissance was going to play it or play my artist, you know what I mean? So in the big dance there, and then eventually the Stone Loves and the Travelers started to take notes and say, which song them playing? Which artist that? Which rhythm that? And then now all of a sudden I'm waking up and Stone Love is outside my studio coming to cut dubs and asking me for the new songs and etc. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Win is a win.
Yeah, you'd be building like that, building up very slowly, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You think that song is, or that record, that rhythm is no, one of the records for dancehall, like, you know, if everybody think of like Showtime rhythm as like one of the greatest rhythms in a dancehall, like, you think Sim Sima is there now?
100%. And it's not just Jeremy saying it, just look online. Why I'm not paying for people to promote the record across the world. I'm not paying for the Sim Sima challenge. I'm not asking people.
You're sure.
I'm not asking people to go into office buildings and say Sim Sima and put the mic in front of to see if people can finish the sentences. They want to do it. They're the ones continually doing it. You know what I mean? The record's still being played. So when I say that, I'm saying 100%. I could most confidently say that. I would go anywhere on this planet and be like, you guys know dancehall, reggae, and just tell them play that one song, and they must play it in any country, any club, anywhere. Then Sim Sima, of course, and they would play it.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what they might not necessarily know it's Beanie Man, they might not know it's Jeremy Harding or Too Hard, they might not really have any context for it. But from you said those words and that little line, then they know they're gonna play
And
the
then you
record.
can know the record, like the rhythm, the dun dun. No,
And the Beanie Man refrain and then, oh, no, you know what I mean? You see footage of Beanie performing the song and all over the world, everywhere he's going. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the most hardcore dancehall record, but I think it's definitely the most crossover, popular dancehall record, I'd have to say.
One of, if not
True.
the most.
Right.
At the time, was it that you got a signed label of being his producer now? Like, how did that affect relationship with other
It
artists?
did, and which was kind of funny because I totally wasn't. I mean, he recorded like one other song for me, I think, at the time, but it wasn't really. I mean, Beanie Man was a Shocking Vibes artist. He had his own camp. He was very successful at Shocking Vibes. They had Romy and Girls Them Sugar and all kind of records, which are big, massive core records. So he had his thing going on, but I think a lot of people, the rivalries in dancehall at the time was like, oh, yeah man, a Beanie producer that because I got the hit song from Beanie, so they assumed You know what I mean? So then
So
therefore,
Killer
like,
never really voiced it.
exactly. So like Killer recorded for me once a song with Cartel, Girls Like Mine on the same liquid rhythm, and he never really recorded for me ever again. I mean, now we're all grown people and I've spoken to him regularly and we're very cool with each other. All is great, but that tense moment of rivalry, I think it was kind of seen like Killer was over here, Beanie was over there. Oh, you did the Beanie record? You're in the Beanie camp. I'm over here. I'm with Jammies and I'm with Jazzwad and they're my producers and you know what I mean? And it was that kind of thing. And then the both of them recorded for Dave anyway. So, you know what I mean? Dave was
So why you get stuck as the Beanie
no,
Man
because
producer?
Dave was so powerful
Oh.
that you couldn't afford to pick sides against Dave. Everybody would come and record for Dave Kelly. You know what I mean? He's a dancehall genius producer in the 90s. And what people don't realize about Dave is that it's his songwriting ability which really made Dave stand out so much more. Not so much about you're a producer and you're Bill Rhythm and all that. Dave was writing the songs for all of these artists. And anybody that can be so prolific to write so many songs for so many artists across so many rhythms. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. You go to Dave and Dave said, this is your song.
Jaja.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean? And you say, all right, and you just do it. And so he could make artists sound different than how they'd normally sound with other producers too. You know what I mean? And you got to hear certain kind of patterns and certain kind of ways. Absolute genius at dancehall, Dave Kelly. I'll give him his flowers right here and now.
Yeah.
When you build a rhythm, I'm curious to know, how do you know that this is the one that will go places? Like, for instance, the Sim Simma, you say, oh, I think, do you say Beanie will be the one for this song, for this rhythm? What's the rhythm making process?
So back then at that point in time, I didn't have the luxury of kind of picking and choosing who I thought was going to work. You'd sort of just do projects and just kind of reach out to people to see if they'd be interested. I knew artists because we were doing dub plates at my studio. Let me quantify the statement. Not a physical dub plate, but I had a digital recording studio, which was the first of its kind in Jamaica. So Germany was the only place that you could record on a computer, never seen before, with waveforms. And it sounds funny now, because that's how it's always done. But for a dub studio scenario, people could come and say, yo, you have the Chiang Kai-shek rhythm, you have the Tromacan rhythm, you have, Stalag rhythm, or as we call it, Stagalag, you know what I mean? And I could just go in the computer and say, yeah, boom, draw it up, press play, it's ready to go. The speed, the efficiency, they go behind. If they make a mistake, I'm like, all right, no problem, punch, and just pick it up. A real dub plate is cutting the lathe in real time. You can't mess it up. You'd have to start again. You get what I'm saying? So, and in my place too, you could get like onto a DAT tape, or we used to burn the CDs, or we could get split track, rhythm one side, the vocal on the other side. They could mix down the rhythm how they want to do it afterwards. They could take the acapella, put it on something else, and so the point being is that my place became popular for cutting dubs.
Because of efficiency.
Right, and then they would go and cut the physical plate elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And go and play it. So that's how I got to know artists.
Okay.
Because sound system guys, selectors are bringing them to cut dubs. So Adonai is coming to cut dubs, Stone Love is coming, Travelers is coming, Renaissance Syndicate is coming, Babyface, King Addies is coming. All kind of people are coming up here to do this. So artists are coming through the door, so I'm meeting everybody. You know what I'm saying? Oh, here comes Cape Town, here comes Sizzler, here comes, Elephant Man, them, here is this man, there's Killer is coming. That man, you know what I mean? Like all kind of artists are coming and I'm seeing everybody and I'm getting to know them.
Yeah.
So eventually when I'm starting to be a producer now, I can reach out because they can't forget. Yeah man, look at Uptown Boy at Jack Seal Theme Studio. So they would remember. So you know what I mean? Like they'll be like, oh, we know who that is. And then I remember I have Sean and Dutty Cup at the time and Chicken Rest in Peace and those guys, and they're on the road interacting with artists at other studios and in other places, and I'm saying, yeah man, your boy thing man, welcome check him man, Ray. And they'd be like, Germs, me talk to so and so, try to get them to come voice, because they're young artists. So they want to get the big artists to come and voice on the rhythms that they're voicing on.
Yeah.
So I can help them.
Yeah.
So they're scouting people now and trying to get them to come up there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So eventually they get them to come up there, and them come and them see the yard and them park up, and the man them start burn the weed and reasoning start, and because I'm trying to check you out, is this brother cool, if him alright, you know, it's
Is he a
Uptown
fed?
boy, he come from Canada, you know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to kind of check the vibes, they're not just running to record. And then they get comfortable afterward and say, hey, he's a cool brother, and then people start to record for me, and I get, Roundhead record and Frisco Kid record for me, and Fambo at the time, Future Troubles, and you know what I'm saying? Buccaneer, like all kinds of those kind of people at the time would come. Red Rat, you know what I'm saying? Start to kind of come in. So the thing would grow and it would build. And I think once they recognize the authenticity, they quickly get over the fact of who you are, where you come from, or your social status.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some people come and say to me, say, yeah man, you're a bad producer, you know? Yeah man. It's if like I was an uptown producer, yeah man, you're a bad producer, man. And I was like, Zine, say, yeah man.
Always have to highlight.
And he's as a Canadian uptown producer, so I keep getting more titles.
So that to Canadian
Class.
uptown.
Yeah,
producer.
Yeah,
Right.
uptown,
Yeah,
Canadian.
man, a foreigner,
Yeah.
So like
So
it
the-
took you a while to get out of that, you know.
But I
label
remember when
artist,
Sim Simma was a big record and I went up to New York to VP Records offices who had signed a record to them, and I'm meeting Christian for the first time. Spoken over the phone, I went to his office. So I'm in the VP office and I go in and Chris is there. Hey man, Jeremy, come in. And there's another guy sitting down there, another record producer type, but a more stereotypical looking Jamaican record producer. You know, one dark, thick, big belly, kind of like a money man producer,
Yeah.
hustler type of looking, you know what I'm saying? And Chris say, yeah man, Jeremy had in this now. And he say, hey, yes, my youth. And I say, yeah man, you see him do the record, you know, the Beanie Man, the Sim Simma record. And I'm saying, yeah. He say, yeah man, I'm the producer. And I say, yeah. Bumbleclad. Chris, why you tell me, say, them have uptown producer now, Chris? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, bro, I'm like right here, hello. I'm like right here.
It's just Jeremy. Like
He was just in shock. He just like, even so, like it was a novelty. Like him say, him?
Yeah.
Them have a bumbleclad. That you tell me? And I was just like, wow, this is wild, man.
It's so funny though, because it's not just politics that you had to play, but it's also not just politics that you had to play, but also like the classism factor
Yeah.
that was there. And I mean, when I was younger, I never really appreciated like all the differences that we put on people. Like, you know, many people think that dancehall is really downtown. It's for downtown people. It's for people who have struggles and want to share them struggles to the broader society. But it's like, even then you said that the classism that you face, like it was a case where people maybe took it for granted, probably think you wasn't in it for real, like, or you know, what you try to get from it. Like those are the struggles that you had to overcome to prove to people in a sense that, hey, I like the culture, I love it, man. I'm here not just to use it, but to help propel it.
I did an interview once with early days of Sean. We did an interview for, remember X News that used to exist?
Yes, so an Observer.
We did an interview down there, and they said to the two of us, I know who the journalist is, I'm not going to call the name though, but the journalist said, why are you guys, so to Sean specifically, why are you in dancehall? And Sean started to say, well, don't know, always like music, and my auntie them had the Sparkle sound system, and we used to go dance, and we used to listen to this artist. And he's like, no, that's not what I'm asking you. Why are you doing it? Don't you realize you're taking up the space of somebody who needs the opportunity in music? You are going to UTech, right? You went to Wolmer's and Hillel and everything. You had opportunities. You don't you realize that's what the exec said. You're taking up the space for somebody else who really needs this opportunity.
Yeah.
That's the way they look at music to them. It's a social program. It's not about art.
rude.
And to this day, still very much people still look at it that way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You guys do it. Bust the Youths. What is that about? For a youth to get a chance. I know that there's a musical part, Bust the Youths, musically. But it's also, we want to stand next ghetto youth, come out of the ghetto. Music is the vehicle.
Right.
Football is the vehicle. Track and field is the vehicle. That's how they kind of see it. Difference is, in track and field, you have to be good. You have to can fucking win.
Yeah, no matter where you come from.
No matter where you come from, you must can prove it. Football is the same thing.
Yeah.
Music, we have removed that. You understand? So, yeah, man, everybody make a tune, make a video, the youth boss, and we just give it to them without any sort of judgment of like, well, the song wasn't good, it wasn't that good. Yo, you hate on the man, dog, and this whole. So the music thing is really, it's terrible that way. But even from back then, that is how they're kind of viewing it. And we were shocked because we're like, what are you talking about? And they asked me the same kind of question. And I'm like, I have every right to be here in music. I went to Jamaica School of Music as a kid, a 10-year-old, learning choir and playing conga drums and learning music theory and practicing instrument and playing guitar and working in a band. What do you mean, what am I doing in music?
Yeah.
What are you
I'm
doing in music?
qualified.
How are you qualified to be asking me
Wait,
about
music.
devil's advocate.
And then what
devil's
are you
advocate.
doing in dancehall music? Maybe I got them a preach.
Devil's
No,
advocate.
but at the
Jeremy.
time, dancehall music was still just general. This is pre-computer era thing.
Yeah.
It's still musicians.
Yeah.
And man, I play keyboard and bass, and man, I play drum, and it was still, you had to be an actual musician
Yeah.
to make it. It's not about Pro Tools and dragging in loops and Mr. Computer Man. So
It wasn't that easy.
at the time, there were actual musicians still making. Steely and Cleveland are musicians. We're talking about these guys. You know what I mean?
They come from guitar uptown.
I don't know where they come from exactly. No, but I think to their case, I mean, like I know the Brownie Brothers or Red Hills Road and some areas like that
Yeah.
were not really considered like ghetto areas at that time
Yeah.
necessarily. Or, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't really know, but they've never presented that story to me as I know them. They don't come around. I know Cleve them and, yeah, man, I come from the ghetto and they don't talk that way. They're very sort of, you know what I mean? Very educated, well-spoken sort of guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but the point being is that I was saying to myself, I've put in the work. I'm here because I've put in the work. I'm genuinely learning a craft.
Exactly.
I'm genuinely trying to exploit a talent and grow it, which I have. So when you're asking about why am I in music, I'm not coming here to take something out of the music. Music is in me. I'm here to give.
So you were
The music.
offended. It seemed like you were genuinely
But,
offended.
but kind of shocked, really,
Yeah.
more than offended. Just sort of like, okay, that's a weird thing to come and ask us for an interview.
Yeah.
And I think another situation where I did another interview, another journalist whose name I will not call, but came and did an interview.
Why we not call journalist?
Let's say
Came
he
and did an
doesn't
interview.
remember.
Well, this one you can probably look up because there's archives of it. And did an interview and did a piece in the paper, I guess, out of his Glean or whatever. And the title thing, Uptown Rebel. And I'm on the front, a black and white picture of me on the front in Malka Studio. And this is a big title. It's like a pull-out section, like Sunday Glean or whatever.
Seriously?
And I'm reading the thing, and you write this whole article, Jeremy Harding, son of Senator Ozzie Harding, and blah, 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 and going on and on and on. And then has a little picture of Sean, because Sean never really too bust yet, but he had a song. And under Sean's picture, it said Norbrook's Finest.
That's crazy. So them just confined them to
So,
Yeah.
so I saw the thing, and I called the guy. I called the guy, and I said to him, why really you had to put the article that way? Like, he's like, why? What do you mean? What's the problem? I said, bro, what are you writing Norbrook's Finest under Sean? But he's from Norbrook. But you don't put Seaview's Finest on the Bounty's picture. Why do you have to put Norbrook's Finest? You're going out your way to caption it like you're making fun of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And he got really offended and he was like, oh, I don't know what you should be grateful I'm doing this interview for you and this and that. And that's how he was going on. And then he was going to do another interview or submit it to like Reggae Report magazine in Florida or something at the time. And I was vexed as hell. And I was like, fuck no. And I called him. I left a message and I said, I don't want this interview. This guy, I don't like the way he portrayed me or my artist. It was very distasteful and he's making fun of us. They canceled the piece. He called me back upset. Talk about a box food out their mouth and how dare I do that and blah, blah, blah. Really pissed. I was like, I don't care. I didn't like the way that you handled the interview. Subsequently, Sean got big and I blacklisted him from interviewing Sean ever for the whole career.
Boy,
And the
Jeremy
booking
look
agents
like
came
them
to me and they're
white
like,
kids.
you know, so-and-so wants to interview Sean. I was
Them
like, fuck
white
no. He's not getting no interview because he wrote up a nasty piece about Uptown Rebel and Norbrook's Finest. He was,
Yeah.
as the English would say, he was taking a piss.
Yeah.
You know what
No,
I'm
but
saying?
Jeremy, I have to ask.
I was
though.
looking for that.
I
don't
have
find
to
it.
ask.
So I'm justified in not getting a big up for you.
No, I have to ask because, you know, it's factually true that you guys are from Uptown.
Right.
And, you know, you guys, and I guess you feel the feeling of is that you're otherized from the overall culture of dancehall.
Right.
And, you know, people kind of think it's this ghetto thing and it's for struggling youths and for make them way out. But, like, the story in of itself was factual. So what about it being factual that you
Because there's no other DJs in Norbrook. So
Okay.
why are you saying that there's Norbrook's Finest? He's the only DJ from Norbrook. And you're trying to point out the fact that he's from Norbrook.
So even though it was factually correct, you just never like...
Yeah, but you're doing it tongue in cheek. I'm not rebelling. Why am I the Uptown Rebel? You're trying to title it in a certain kind of way. You understand? But you know what you're doing. You're trying to be slick because they're thinking like you. What's the problem?
Yeah.
It's true. You're
Yeah.
from Norbrook.
Yeah.
You're the finest one out of Norbrook. Why
Yeah.
can't it say Norbrook's finest?
Yeah.
What's the problem? It's like because you're making fun of us. That's what you're doing. You're
But I
making fun
read
of
the
us.
article, but yeah.
And the
We
fact of the
can't
matter
find
is,
it.
no, the fact of the matter is, the only reason why you're interviewing me is because we're actually making waves in dancehall. I have a genuine smash hit record, not with Norbrook's finest, with dancehall's finest, Beanie Man.
Yeah.
So why can't you just accept that, wow, great record, something good that you're doing? No,
Yeah.
we have to make fun of it. But eventually, after a while, listen, skin got tough, we just embraced it. Every interview we ever did, just like how we start this one, I start off by saying, hi, I'm Jeremy Harding, and I'm from Uptown. Let's just get it out of the way.
But thinking that changed
Let's
the
just-
name to Uptown, aka Uptown Rebel.
Right, let's get out right. You know what I mean?
Oh
We can't get super hyped to come here, Uptown, exactly, and all those things, you know what I mean?
It's your boy, you are.
And then Sean just starting every interview by saying it too. Like before, it's like the, you know what I mean? The freaking
take back
elephant
the-
in the room. Right, you
Yeah,
just take it back. As the interview
yeah.
start, yeah, we don't know, and I come from Uptown, and just get it
Yeah,
out the
just
way.
get it out
the way.
And they're just like, oh, then they can't really question anything anymore.
Yeah, the Eminem effect, yeah.
You know what I
A
mean?
lot of,
I never really think that you guys would have taken it so offensively, like, you know, like you guys
Yeah, man,
from
that's that
Uptown.
thing, that's that
and-
thing.
But that's
That's
why I say I have to read the article.
But remember at the time, there was a little movement starting, you know, because there was Syndicate, there was Renaissance,
Yeah.
there was Sean, there was Dottie Cup, there was Jeremy. Short after there was Don Corleone coming up as Uptown, Wayne Marshall, as much as his Jammy's connection or whatever thing, Uptown. You know what I'm saying? So there was a whole bunch of us that before us collective us, it was just Don Youth.
Ah, okay.
Know
From
what I'm saying?
Uptown.
Yes.
Okay.
Woolmer's boy from Uptown, live in Havendale, badass DJ. Bad piece of DJ. Big up Don Youth wherever you are. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Killing it. Recording for Dave Kelly. Recording for Steely and Clevie. Recording for the top guys. Doing songs with Spragga Ben. Spragga have him as him endorsed.
Yeah.
The big song with Wayne Wonder. Excess amount of loving. Shooby-doo-bop. Wop wop. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Genuine.
Yeah.
Dancehall hit artist from Uptown. But the only one. And then after that, the floodgate started to kind of open, so to speak, and more people came into it until it reached a point where, like, oh, where now we have, you know, Cripple Blacks, rest in peace, Dan Corleone, up by Peter Blake's studio up in Mona. In the Uptown becomes nothing. Renaissance is there, it's all Uptown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's no distinction anymore about it.
I mean, music in a way, it's very subjective in a sense, but it's like the good. The cream rise to the crop. The
Right.
best of the best stay. So you think eventually, like, you know, even though people wanted to probably discredit you, that or you and Sean that don't come from Uptown, but there was like, you know, show them that, listen, it's a legitimate, I have a legitimate case to be here, and it's not, don't remove all the other labels that you put around me. I'm legitimately here. I have a claim in dancehall.
No, but it's understandable because you have a lot of corny ass Uptown people who try to do music in Jamaica, and it's corny. And you can
Okay,
just-
so you can
You
accept
need-
that.
Of
Yeah,
course, and you
okay.
can hear it and be like, this is whack, this is just corny, you don't
Yeah.
understand the
Hey,
culture.
Jeremy, lie.
You know,
Everyone
but people who are legit corny
Yeah.
and not just dancehall, reggae artists too. And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is mad corny what you're doing. And you can
Yeah.
tell it's not unique. You don't really understand the culture. You're trying to ape it. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to be a part of something that you're not really, you don't get and you don't. So I can see why people get annoyed and it's
Yeah.
like, yo, get the fuck out of here. But
But
as
can
I'm
you
saying,
once even try to sell a sub story of you coming from?
no,
like, some-
exactly. But
yeah.
the difference is what we were doing was just generally what we were doing. We weren't trying to pretend. I didn't change up my accent. I didn't try to be no way. I'm just me. I spoke like this. I dealt with everybody the same way. I didn't hide anything. You know what I mean? Neither did Sean. He just kind of did his thing. None of us were really. You know what I'm saying? So after a while, people are just like, oh, these guys are just making good music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kid Corrupt, all of these guys. Corrupt was writing song for Elephant Man. He wrote Log On for Elephant Man at my studio. Things like that.
Yeah,
people
because
don't.
you're the already.
Yeah,
the
what
creator
I'm
of
just
the
saying,
big
and so these people are making genuinely hardcore dancehall records from all of us who went uptown and went to Campion and Woolmers and uptown schools, and we're just there engrossed in the culture, but we understood it and we genuinely loved it. And we weren't trying to do it to be cool. We weren't rebelling against anybody. You know what I'm saying? Against your parents or trying to do something weird, or we weren't really trying to do anything like that. But I can understand, as you said, yes, how from outside people be looking at them like, yo, who are these kids? What they really think they're doing? But after a while, we prove ourselves, and then people say, all right, you know what, you guys are legit.
You make peace with the journalists?
No.
No one mentioning me.
No.
Still?
Make what peace?
It's two of them. No, never.
Jeremy was like, you want smoke? Here's the
No,
smoke.
sir. For no reason
Them a for
whatsoever.
rub off
With the on Jeremy list.
Yeah, the reason why me can't left on him side because me know enough times, like, you know, as like from the journalist perspective, you just try to do your job and whatever, and people tend to take it offensive, and it's like, you mean no
This
offense.
man cussed me off on the phone and tell me I box food out of his mouth.
Well,
and how dare I? He's doing me a favor. Like, you're doing me a favor. I have Simpson by Beanie Man and you're doing me a favor. You know how big my record is?
Bitch.
Who the hell are you? Exactly.
Okay, I get that. And that part, I get it.
Like,
But
don't be rude about it. You can
yeah.
try to get information, but don't be disrespectful.
Yeah, Jaja.
No, but a lot of it is a fight that you have to put up to, because it's a rough industry.
I know.
And I remember when I first wanted to build a rhythm, Buccaneer used to come by the studio a lot and hang out. Big up Buccaneer. And Bucky used to love the vibes and up there, and he used to be into his little laptop and his Pro Tools. I was bringing it and I'd be showing him things and him try to build his rhythms, and he used to hang around on the dubs and stuff like that. And when I wanted to do my first rhythm, and I said to Bucky, I was like, come on, we're doing dub plates now, so I'm already in the culture. I just don't have a rhythm, but we're voicing dubs and people at the studio. I said, Bucky, I want a dancehall rhythm. And him look at me and say, what do you mean you want a dancehall rhythm? I want to have a dancehall rhythm. I think he would voice for me, because I want to voice some people and put out a rhythm. And him look at me and him say, no, Jeremy, that dancehall is not for you, brother. You can't. I was like, what do you mean? No, man, you're a good youth, you know, Jeremy. You know your thing, and you have your studio and thing, but dancehall is not for you, bro. Because he was basically kind of warning me, like, no, this is a rough business, bro. This is not something you want to get involved with at all.
Wicked
this is,
people.
it's a
So
rough,
was he
rough
saying
business.
that you should do like reggae or?
No, he was just saying that you have your studio, you're cutting your dubs, and you're running your studio, and that's all good, but you shouldn't try and be a producer, like to produce
'Cause that's a
dancehall, to
different
make
level
rhythms.
of-
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? He didn't think that's what should be happening up there. Maybe I could be an engineer, maybe I could learn to mix things for people or so, but to be a producer and to get people to voice for me and put out stuff under my label, and he was just looking at me like, you don't want to get involved.
So when you finally enter into the space and you know you try to get the artist, like you ever got to Buccaneer and said, Judge, I get what you're saying. Like, I get it.
I know really,
I get what you're saying.
But because around us for a long time and he
Yeah.
saw the journey, God bless him. You know what I'm saying? We lost touch throughout the years, but yeah, he was around and he saw the journey and he was happy to see what was going on. And he was encouraging to and whatever.
You
and,
prove
know.
him wrong, but he kind of said, "Me see what you say, Bucky."
Yeah, exactly,
You were right.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? And I think he got to understand after a while that we knew our place. In other words, like Steely and Clevie were still the gods. You know, Dave Kelly was still the god. I wasn't trying to take nobody's space.
Right.
Sean recognized that these men are the gods of dancehall. I just trying to do my little thing and not trying to be better than the man or the nothing else. And I think once he realized the humility that we carried with it, and most people saw the humility and said, oh, you guys are not running your mouth like, yeah, come take over the thing. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? You just happy to be here, then everybody was kind of like chill with it. You know what I'm saying?
I want
Maybe want to ask you, were you actually a part of the songwriting process, Simpson?
No.
Okay.
Beanie did he had the whole record. The only part I think he paused to write would have been like the very last verse. But when he came to record it today, he already had it in his head. He knew what he wanted to do. I just hit record. He just ran.
Damn.
But you had some influence in regards to like what lines stayed and what didn't, right? Because the big controversial line in the song is, "How could I make love to a rush?"
You know,
To a fella
in
in
a
a
rush,
rush,
pass me the
I
keys
think
of
it-
trouble.
yeah.
We spoke about it at the time, but he had explained it, and at the time I was just, listen, I'm nobody, you know. Beanie Man is a mega star of dancehall. I'm a little brother trying with a little man named Sean Paul, and you know what I'm saying? I don't really have a big talk to give him as a producer. I'm just there
There's like, yep, that's
recording
it.
the song and saying, all right, cool, and kind of trusting the instinct that, well, he must know what I'm doing. If I go put that lyric in there, then it's his, you know what I'm saying? He's going to have to be the person to deal with it. You know what I mean? Even though it was funny when the record was released, after the first week, Sonic Sounds called me, Jason, he was like, boy, Jeremy, there's a problem, you know. Aquarius has sent back the record. I see me, they're selling it back. Them said, no, they're lying in the song, them can't sell it. I was like, what are you talking about? This is after us flying off our shelves in the first week, and I had to go to Aquarius, literally go down there and say, yo, is what going on? And reason out with the man them.
Seriously?
He meant this, not this.
Yeah. I had to literally go down to half a tree and talk to him and say, yo, is what going on? No, Jeremy, yo, that line there, John Star. And I was like, no, it's not that I must say. I said this and, you know what I mean? And then Beanie went on his own personal campaign with it. But it just fueled
The success,
Yeah,
I guess, in
everybody
some
was
way.
But
Yeah.
you initially was like, yo, probably we should change it.
I didn't really have that impetus to be able to tell him that. I heard it and I was just kind of like, But I'm saying, it's being a man though, he must know. He must know. Why would I have to tell him what need to change? He must know.
He probably never know.
And he was-
I
and-
kind of say, I
and
need
to my
something
re-
here.
To my
In a
recollection,
rush.
he was doing the same thing. Nah, hear what happened. Because, comma. And he was explaining it to me. And I was there like, I get you. And I'm like, you still not really quite sound like that. But,
Make love to a fellow.
In
In
a
a
rush.
rush.
Pass me the keys to my. Jada, that's hilarious.
Why is Questlove listed as a songwriter on this song on Wikipedia?
because I sampled a Roots record.
Okay.
Oh.
The little thing at the front of the record.
Oh.
Yeah,
That little
okay.
piece that
Oh.
starts it.
Yes.
That's from a Roots record called
Okay.
Sections is the name of the song, and it's on the album Philadelphia Life. I think you guys can go look it up. People can go check it out. So they have publishing on the record.
Jaja.
I forget how much percent. Could be 15%. something like
Damn.
So
That's a
Roots
lot,
make money
right?
off of it.
that. Yes. Yeah, they are publishing on the record.
That's a lot. I wanted to go back though. You talk about the politics though, and like people online it to say like you're Beanie Man producer. I'm sure Sean Paul producer. How difficult was that trying to not be political in a space when people trying to have putting you in politics, musical politics?
You couldn't avoid it because back then it was a camp-driven business.
Right.
You had camps. You record Danny Brown had his camp. Main Street, Red Rat, Buccaneer, Goofy, General Degree, Hawkeye. Chrissy D. It was a camp. Vegas somewhat was kind of in that camp, so to speak.
Yeah.
So every time those records would come out, it's them set of artists that you would be on there
Yeah.
primarily
Yeah.
with a couple of extras. Dave Kelly had his camp. You know what I mean? Baby Sham, Chico, Beanie, Frisco Kid, T.O.K., Mr. Easy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had camps
Yeah.
that they were dealing with. So it was kind of, you couldn't really avoid it. But it was really more of a home base for artists to know that this is my producer who I can comfortably go to and he will record me all the time. Because I have a connection with them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it was really more like that. But of course, once you start doing that, it gets political. Because,
Yeah.
it's competitive. Because if this is my artist and then you see them as mine, why you got voice for that, man? Because the rhythms are competing.
Yeah.
Everything is competitive.
Yeah.
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 Jamaica is like, who take it?
Yeah.
That's our mentality all the
Yeah.
time. So it's like, this rhythm bad, this rhythm better, this producer better, him better than who? Who is it? You know what I'm saying? Is it Shabba Ranks or is it Ninja Man? Is it Beanie or is it Bounty? Is it Movado? Is it Cartel? It's always a him or him thing happening in
Or
our
she.
industry. Or she, right. So, yeah. So with it was always that competitive nature. And even with the producers, it kind of felt that way too. Because there was a time, when Penthouse was hot and Jammies and those people, it's when you walk to a record store like Aquarius, you don't even listen to the record, From you see the label, new Penthouse, give me it. You just buy it right away. Any radio disc jockey, any selector, you don't even have to hear it.
Yeah.
Because when you're going to those record shops, the way those guys used to do it is that you go in the shop and they put on the songs and play them like they're selecting in a dance.
Oh.
So they play the song and everybody stand up there, like the people buying, stand up like watching them play it.
Right.
And them say, new Cabra, brand new Snake, brand new Mad Snake. And they put it on and they play it. And then play it and then they pull it up. They hype the records to sell
Yeah.
them. And the selectors put it up and say, yo. And then go so and toss it out. And you grab it and someone will say, I'm gonna like it and keep the hand down.
Yeah.
And they play a next one and they juggle it and that's how they're selling records in the record shop. So
Wow.
you have to make sure you're in the shop adjusting with the people like, yo. Because there's one box they have
Everything
to
at
sell.
wholesale.
There's one box of records they might have or 2 boxes. So when
Yeah.
you give out, it's no more.
Yeah.
You just get, so you have to make sure to be like, yo, we need one. And you push up, give me it. And so they're doing the records quick. But certain labels, Penthouse, Jammies, Exterminator, Fatis, certain labels, Narrow, from you see them take out the box and them hold up the record, you see a blue label of Jammies. Yo, give me it. You don't even want to hear it.
Certified.
Right away.
It's a brand name.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so that competitive spirit was always there. So even you as a producer, you're trying to make sure that, I need my records to sell, I need them to move, I need them to, you know what I mean? So you're trying to have that relationship too. You have to have a relationship with the man them at Aquarius and the man them out at the Record Plaza, all the places them. So when them come in, them say, and then when them see you, them say, oh, that too hard. And them take 2 of them start playing the 2 of them in the shop. to sell them to people. When artists would walk in, I keep saying Cabra, but he was around a lot. You're going to Half a Tree Aquarius, and Cabra used to walk into Aquarius, and you saw the big gold chain them at the time, and mad Cabra, and him thick already and everything. And then them say, oh, that mad snake, man. Every Cabra record start to put on the turntable to sell. And Cabra stand up there, with them dark glasses, and them just play one Cabra after the next one Cabra, and man, I put up them hands, sell. And then Cabra would like walk out and say respect, and then Cabra leave, and you know what I mean? And they wait for the next artist to walk in, and them say, who that? You know what I mean? Baby Wayne, put that baby Wayne. You know what I mean?
my
And they
gosh.
start doing
You
it.
had to be there, man.
Yes.
Jeremy, it's time to get you in some trouble now.
Oh boy.
It's time now. Right, so you've been on record.
It's time.
Speaking of competitive nature of the space, you've been on record saying that Beanie Man is the greatest dancehall artist of all time. You've
Oh,
been
yeah.
on record saying that. Why you say that?
Didn't we just talk about Sim Simo and all those records?
You say you're biased.
Mega hit, smash hit.
Yes.
One hit nonetheless.
No, not
What
one
other
hits.
reason-
Dozens of hits.
True, but yes, why
Dozens
why
and
why you
dozens
say
of
he's
hit
the
records.
greatest?
Dozens of hit records. And arguably one of the greatest performers, dancehall performers.
Facts.
Without question.
On a stage. Commanding the audience, charisma, presence, aura, know how to work a crowd, get the crowd on his back, and he's a guy that no matter what controversy he land himself in, the fans still manage, he wins them back every time.
No matter what.
Him say, make love to a fella in a rush, him still win back the fans in. Him say, hey, green arm over there, so
He
him
said,
win back the
how,
fans in.
how can I
Right.
make love to a fella? That's what I'm saying. You're not forgetting the first part of the lyric.
And he always bounces back, and he
Always.
always bounces back, and he always has the fans, and he's a perennial year-to-year performer. You can rely on him, even if he doesn't have any new records, because he's a genuine entertainer,
Facts.
performer, entertainer, not just a dancehall singer. And Beanie Man can entertain a crowd of 100,000 people, 50,000 people, 10,000 people, or 1,000 people. Beanie Man perform
50
at
people, 100
Beanie Man
people
perform
on a
at
plane,
rest in peace, RF Cooper's thing up at JC, like it's a big show, and
Yes.
still hold a crowd same way.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And can still do that in front of whatever people in Australia and like all over the place. Totally fearless. So to me, putting all of those things together, you know, it's like if you're talking about football, like who's the great, who's the GOAT, and you're trying to say, well, the man that can score with him head, shoot with either foot, have the most goals, have the most trophies, have the most Ballon d'Or. You add up all of the things to arrive at your choice. And for me with Beanie, I'm adding up all the parts. Hit songs, charisma, stage presence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
General audience appreciation. I try to add everything. Sex appeal, so the girls say. You know what I'm saying?
You tell me what you like.
I'm sure Camille would agree.
Right? I mean, not from here and narrow to judge.
No,
but hey,
that's I'm sure
That's-
Camille would
right.
agree.
So that's what they say. You know what I mean? But yeah, put everything all together. International appeal, local appeal, dub plates.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kill sound, dub plates, girl songs, culture song.
True.
Where is he lacking? I can't understand where he's lacking, and I
this
don't.
is-
That to me adds up as the great. No, I've always said Sean is the most successful international
Yes, I was just
dancehall
about to say,
artist.
this is coming from somebody who's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
man.
I've said it. I've made that distinction. I don't think Sean would argue with that point neither, obviously. You know what I'm saying? But overall, to me, Cartel, I hear Cartel. I was about to mention, because that controversy with Cartel and him about who's the
Yes,
king.
currently, yes.
But from me, whereas Cartel obviously is a supreme lyricist of dancehall, and without a doubt, and we'll get that. You know what I'm saying? And consummate songwriter, and we'll get all of that.
Right.
Charisma through the...
Yes, but for me, all of those other things that were added up, I don't think he meets Beanie Man and all of those other things. To me, to be able to get that, the king of crown, so to speak. If you think it's important, I don't think it's important necessarily. But some people want to find, they need, who is the GOAT? Is it Messi? Is it Ronaldo? They need to know. You know what I'm saying? A man older than us are going to say, no, it's Pele, it's Maradona. You know what I'm saying? The next man going to say, it's not Beanie Man, it's Shabba. What you talking about?
True.
And then Shabba going to say, well, okay, well, I'm the emperor then, you can be the king. You know what I'm saying? And it gets weird. And then,
Killer will say, I'm the god, so yeah,
yeah,
I'm above everybody.
And kind of, you have these this tier lists of trying to kind of figure it
I
out.
think it's a different debate between Goat and King. Because Goat, as you say, you tally up everything. While King, I feel like it's something that
Is it timely? I mean,
it's time in
who's the king now?
No, like, yes.
You could argue that point, and maybe if you do that, then maybe Cartel has every right to say he's the king because he's more now than Beanie, arguably. But even Cartel's now is still 10 years ago. So
Yeah, because Massacre would have a claim
yeah,
to
you know what I
the
mean? So I don't know where we're really going. I don't really know why it's important to people to have this moniker. I think within your time, you're the king within your time, and you do what you do within your time and put your mark. You know what I'm saying? Before Sean came, Shaggy was the king of the crossover, undisputed. Then Sean came and was like, well, I have something to say about that because I have no X amount of hit records and I didn't sell diamond like you, but I have more number ones and I have more top tens and you know what I mean? And this sort of this gets debatable as to where they are, you know what I mean? And one generation will definitely say, oh, it's Sean because they have the people before that would be like, no man, you're talking about Shaggy them is to this day and concerts are sold out and the thing albums would sting international and and they would put him on a tier list level.
They're all rich. They all win.
No, but to that, what I would add to that to say is that they've all made great music, and that's to me why they win.
Yeah.
True.
Cartel has made great records. Beanie Man has made great records. Sean, Shaggy, all the greats have made great records. Period. That stand the test of time and still play, and people still love them. So they're all great. They're all kings.
Who's in the GOAT conversation? Mount Rushmore, 4.
Of dancehall,
Yeah,
4 people.
4.
It has to be Shabba. Would have to be up there. You give me only 4 people, and that's really rough.
5.
I know.
Say
Because
5.
you'd have to, first of all, you could not put Yellow Man on there as a groundbreaker,
Yeah.
even though it's not our era.
Yeah.
But for what he did at the time, so you could not leave out Yellow Man. Yellow Man was the first guy doing crossover records with rappers, for example, Run DMC, with all kinds of people. It was
People
King
don't
Yellow
know
Man.
these things.
He was the first guy to break out of like the whole coming from that reggae era of the Dennis Brown and these people, the DJ style person to really rise to prominence with a new style. He was the first guy seen as being a slack artist.
I was just about to say that.
slackness
Yeah.
in a dancehall and really. So Yellow is King Yellow Man for a reason. So Yellow Man would have to be on the Mount Rushmore.
Shabba, Yellow
I
Man.
think Shabba has to be on the Mount Rushmore. It's difficult. I think Buju would have to be up there too.
For sure.
And that leaves Beanie.
I think it's Beanie, but I don't think you can leave out Killer. So you're gonna
Can't
have to,
leave
you have to
out
go
Killer.
charge. You have
So
to go
5.
5.
5.
Can't leave out Killer. I don't think you can leave out Cartel.
Right.
It's hard. It's a hard task. And you can't leave out Sean to me.
Well, no, but Sean is gonna go more in the commercial category of the commercial success people. So him and Shaggy need start their own Mount Rushmore.
So him,
But to
Shaggy,
me-
and Bob Marley.
But to me, that's kind of like the uptown thing. Like, yeah, I say, I'm kind of different. Is he dancehall or not?
Who, Sean? If Sean is dancehall,
Yeah.
of course.
So that myself, why can't he be considered on the Mount Rushmore?
But then you have to put
Are you
6.
questioning
I'm,
us?
I'm just being devil's advocate here. And because I know these people.
Exactly.
No.
I don't
okay.
like it's your question.
I don't know
Why are
these
you
people.
baffled by your
Fair
question?
answer. But then you have to extend it. Then you can't just have 4 people.
Certain.
Because you're gonna
You
have to
gotta
put.
say 10.
You're gonna have to put.
Oh,
You're gonna have to understand like who are groundbreakers, who are pioneers,
True.
versus
Can't
who
leave
are
them out.
people with commercial success
Have to be
versus.
considered.
So it's kind of different.
It's so crazy
You
to
know what I
me
mean?
because, and I feel like this is where it comes, like the competition aspect of it. I understand it, but it don't make no sense because I feel like all these people you mentioned, Yellow Man, Shabba, Super Cat for me, Bojo, like all these people are the foundation of it all.
Yeah.
They're really where dancehall is them are the cornerstone of dancehall, and to leave them out of the conversation seems unfair. But then you have
difficult.
people like as they
Ninja
said,
Man.
Sean Paul, Ninja Man.
There's all kind of people. It's hard to.
Something there. Not Shabba. They say Shabba.
Killer.
Killer. Sean Paul, Vibes Cartel, Beanie Man.
Yeah.
All these people come and bring it forward to a level, and like you have people like now where you have Massacre, you have Alkalines, you have they can say probably the craft, the new people in the new school, like them all further it in some way. So it's like very difficult to kind of single out people in a sense and like try put Rushmore and them things are like, yeah.
You'd have to look at people who have done enough to make a pivotal change in the music. That's the way I would see it. So that's why I say Yellow Man is there for a pivotal change.
Yeah.
Shabba has to be there for that, for his records and selling gold and being
going
in Colombia
overseas,
and being helping to cross over the music and at the time to do it with the R&B artists and the various people and to stamp Jamaica, the big dirty stinking Shabba and that thing still in the culture and in the Black American culture, Shabba and the whole excitement. It has to be there. You get what I'm saying? So they're pivotal things which those people would have done. Buju Banton as well, a lot of people don't recognize. Most people know Buju as this, the dreadlocks, Rasta Buju, you know. They don't understand the dancehall Buju.
Yes.
Yep.
And the dancehall Buju was a force to be reckoned with.
Yep.
The ballad dancehall Buju,
Yep.
Yes,
it
yes.
was terrible at that time. For that year or a couple of years when he was ruling Naro, like I explained, some you could just do a juggling of just Buju records.
Yeah.
One after the other. It was insane how wicked Buju was.
Top 5 reggae artists, top 5 dancehall artists.
100%. And then making the switch to the Till Shiloh Buju. And the whole world was like, this is not going to be possible. You can't go from being this man to the culture man. And he did
Watch
it
me.
in fantastic fashion. So
Yeah.
he gets that God status to
Yeah.
even for conquering both of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, as I said, but even the pre-culture Buju, the dancehall, straight dancehall Buju, the gold spoon Buju, you know what I'm saying? The browning Buju, like that level Buju.
Jeez, the rings
Terrible.
them all.
Different class.
The people don't
Rings.
understand. Go back and look for Sting, Buju, Sting and see him tearing up the crowd doing those kind of records and see when Sting, people are mash up crowd. You understand? Just off of the strength of raw music. There's no social media. There's no music videos for you to have no fans. It's just songs. People know them, just hear them on radio. They
I
just
wanna
go in front
see
of the
them.
audience and you sing the song them and the place is just losing their mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you see if you really understand the magnitude of it. So yeah, so these guys, you know what I mean? As I said, you have to really, part of it too, it has to come from being there and experiencing it as well. You know what I'm saying? So I can
Other
understand.
people that further the conversation, they weren't really there at the time to really experience like what you're talking
The people
about.
know.
Yeah, like what
Yes.
people like argue them thing, you know, online and really
But it's the
know.
same thing. It's like the football argument. You ever seen the clips when they say what they're doing now, Pele did it before, and they show a clip of Pele doing something in football, and then Messi do it, Pele do it, and then Ronaldo do it, Pele do it, and Johan Cruyff. And they're trying to tell you how phenomenal Pele was. This is you guys don't know because it wasn't
live
on
in
your
the
phone.
moment,
True, and
yeah.
the thing is that
You know what I
they
mean?
did
Prisoners
things,
of the
and when they
moment.
did it, they were the first. Now you see
Exactly.
it every day, you know, but we have
Right.
to recognize that.
And you're not getting it. So a normal kid be like, we talking about Messi is the greatest ever. And an older man going to be like, bro,
You
Maradona,
don't
brother,
even
like
You
you
don't
didn't watch
understand.
Maradona, even yeah, you didn't even
You
know
don't really
about
get
You
it.
don't know
So-
coked up Maradona.
You see me?
right. But see, with a lot of the artists, it's the same thing. Some man going to say, God, tell him a DJ star. Nobody can. And they will cuss forever. It's like, bro, because you just don't understand. When Buju was running the place, you don't understand. When Beanie them and Kill, you don't even get it.
Yeah.
You just don't get it. You don't get the Shabba Ranks era and Shabba versus Super Cat and those things. Like, you guys are not aware. You want to live.
In the moment.
People have a sense of, like, in their time must be the greatest time. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
So,
people are saying Alkaline are the best.
right. And a man goes, same thing with the sports is the same type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, LeBron James is the greatest. He's the GOAT.
Fucker.
Is it Michael Jordan? No, it's LeBron. And they're going to argue for it because it's their
Kobe.
time.
Kobe.
But because it's
Every
their time.
generation
Right. So
always
generation
have
wants
the-
to feel that it's their time. Because they
debate.
don't want the old man like Jeremy to say, no, look at this. This was better than what is happening now. They're going to say, no, man, that's weird. This is the now thing. And the youths, the argument starts. So it's difficult to kind of explain to people what the criteria is. You know what I mean? To understand about who is the GOAT
Should
or
have
who is
been
the
on a
greatest or
porch.
This
whatever.
after tweet, but funny enough, it just said old man Jeremy. And when I was doing research, Wikipedia say you're 72.
72? No. There's
I'm like,
no, there's a Jeremy Harding who's a journalist in London.
And
Look it up, yes. And they always, sometimes when you search, his
You have to
name will
put
pop up.
Jamaica.
Why
Yes,
them put
and
your
my name
picture
will pop up.
beside this 72? But anyways, earlier.
Yeah, he's a British writer and
Is he?
journalist
Yeah.
based in south of France. He's a contributing editor at London Review of Books.
There you go.
73.
73, yeah.
the picture they pop up right
That's
beside the
crazy.
information. I'm like,
He
that's
must
crazy.
be more annoyed than I am that he has his big journalistic career, and every time somebody is trying to Google him, he's like, well, who's this fella from Jamaica? Sean says he's a black guy. He
Dancehall.
says he's a reggae producer. He must be
Dancehall.
really annoyed. Poor
gosh,
Jeremy. Poor
it's
Mr. Harding.
hilarious.
That's crazy.
Sorry
I
about that.
had this question, I don't want to forget it. So we're talking about Beanie Man.
Yeah.
And the qualities like his stage presence, the talent, and his accomplishments.
Right.
Would you say you need all these things to be a superstar? Like what
No,
makes
there's
you a
there's
superstar?
levels of it. I don't think you need all of those things. I mean, the more that you have, I think there's a elevated status to it as well. You know what I mean? I don't think you need to have all of them. You can have a good couple of them that you do really, really well and you're really amazing at. You know what I'm saying? And kind of can put in that kind of space. I don't think you necessarily have to have all of them. I think people are kind of known for different things. Some people are known to be great performers more than musical artists.
Yeah.
Again, tread lightly here, but your friend Spice, right?
Leslie, watch her speak, boy.
Right? Hold on.
Let's see.
Spice grew to prominence as a performer,
Yes.
Yeah.
consummate dancehall
Just
performer on a
first
stage.
branded queen of stage.
Right.
Stage.
Before it was about she had hit songs. It was more about that. You're
Yes.
looking forward to Spice performing
Performing,
for her to say, I am the new queen of the dance or whatever. It was really more about that performance part. You had guys like Kiprich, who was a performance artist at Sting.
Yeah.
A Clash artist.
Yeah, that's what I said,
Not really
Clash.
so much records like you'd hear on the radio or wherever, but more performance. You know what I mean? Ninja Man, performance.
Yeah.
More than records to play from Ninja Man. His personality, his performance, his stagecraft. You know, Ninja Man just come on stage and stand up and you understand me?
His face alone.
And the place is tearing down. You know what I mean?
Genre, yeah.
Those type of things. Like he's known more for that. You still rank him as superstar person, but it's not like he can play
A song that
10
comes to mind.
Ninja Man records in a row and people are gonna know them. You're lucky you might play 3 to 4 to 5 and you're gonna be like, oh, kind of, because it wasn't really about him. Before him, you had guys like Peter Metro. This is young. I'm too young for this too. But those are sound system guys that used to rule the roost. It's not about records. There were sound system DJs that used to mash up dance and mash up party and stuff like that. So I think it's within, I don't know if you necessarily would say you have to have all of them, all of the traits. You can be in different spaces and different levels. You guys never seen that interview with Jay-Z talking about DMX, when DMX came out on the stage and got the crowd and took off the shirt and the roof and the dog and the praying and Jay-Z is saying, man, and afterwards I had to come on, it's a hard not life with my little song. So even, if you guys watch the interview,
Yeah,
even Jay-Z's
I
admitting
remember
that,
that,
yo,
yeah.
DMX
Yeah.
was a
problem.
force of nature.
Yep.
But if you talk about the goats of hip-hop,
Yeah, more than likely.
people are going to say,
are
oh,
gonna-
Jay-Z,
yeah, Jay-Z,
Nas, Biggie.
Yeah.
DMX don't drop 5, 6, 7 and way down on the list. They're
Yeah.
going to put Eminem, they're going to put all kind of people. But even a Jay-Z going to say, yo, that man.
was a problem.
Listen,
From 97, 98,
Yeah,
99.
Rough
DMX.
Rider.
but
Yeah.
I never
Problem.
forget, like he was in, I think he was Melbourne, like sea of people, and he mean I want red jumper, and the man just there, and him a rock the stage,
Yes,
and
man.
it's like a crowd,
Yeah.
like literally ocean of people,
The,
just a
the
jump up.
concert will get cancelled.
Yes, it was a beach. Wasn't no one
No,
beach
it
ever
was
there.
stage show.
Stage show, man.
Oh.
Like literally a sea of people, and he
Um,
just a sing.
We met
Or the
DMX
rock
when
band
he
them
came,
mash up.
when they came to the
Can't
movie Belly.
Yeah.
And so we met DMX because Sean and Vegas had the song which was on the
Yes.
soundtrack.
Woodstock.
Yes.
I think at Woodstock.
Woodstock.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so they had to be in a scene. So they shot it right out by,
Woodstock 99.
which was Super D, which is out by the roundabout going to the airport. It was on the left-hand side.
Okay, yeah,
It's
yeah,
not. It's just an empty lot now.
Yeah,
But
okay.
it used to be like a warehouse, old warehouse hangar space. They used to keep parties out there.
Okay.
And that's where they shot the scene from Belly the movie, the performance scene of Sean and Vegas performing. And so we were out there and we met DMX and we're in the van, parked on the side of the road. And of course with the weed smoking thing and Sean them and his brother Jason, and he DMX called Jason nickname was Farm because the amount of weed Jason had. So he's like, yo, Farm, what's up? You got the good stuff? And you talk just like how you rap. That's how you talk. That's hilarious. Like, see, he is like, how he raps is how he talks the same way. He say, yo, what's up? We gonna go smoke some weed? We're gonna do a joint. All right. Yeah, son, that's my man. You roll it up. Like,
God bless you.
it's funny.
R.I.P.
Nearly 20 years later, I'm in Aventura, Florida, just on holiday with my family. I'm at a Walgreens, I swear to God, at about 12:30 a.m. going to get, I don't know what I'm buying in the Walgreens, standing up in the line. Who's in front of me? First of all, I see like some big ass white guy, like in a Hells Angels jacket, blonde hair.
Like biker brother.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, okay. And I look beside him. Who's in front of me? DMX. In the line at the Walgreens, line to buy some cigarettes with his bodyguard.
Get some smoke.
So I was like, yo, D,
Yeah.
what's up? So him turn around, because, you know, fans would talk to you. Say,
Yeah.
yo, what's up, man? You good? I said, yo, I know if you remember me, but when you came to Jamaica to do the belly thing with Sean,
Yeah.
I was Sean's manager, and we were hanging out with Sean. He's like, oh, what? Oh, yeah, I remember fam. All right, good looking out, son. Yeah, cool. And he turned back around, and I was like, so what a random, bizarre moment.
Yeah.
To like literally
At the
20 years later.
Walgreens.
Yeah, just burn a Walgreens, he just buck up.
Him just a buy cigarettes.
Yeah, he's just sick with his bodyguard, just
Yeah.
standing up in the line, and I'm
Yeah.
behind him. I'm like, isn't this DMX? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, yo, what's up? Yo, what's up, man? You good? All right. What's up?
Crazy.
Oh gosh.
Want to talk
funny.
about records now,
Mhm.
because there's long been a conversation about the type of records and songs that are coming out of dancehall right now. It seems like overseas would like to hear certain records from us, while there's a certain type of vibe and new style that is permeating the space right now. Right? So I want to ask you and talk to you about this, because if you mentioned Shabba and that he was doing like Mr. Loverman and them type of songs, you know, people would argue that, hey, why chastise the younger youth them now for doing rap type songs now when Shabba was doing songs that was could be constituted as, you know, trying to fit in the sound at the time. Mr. Loverman, you listen that like it has whole heap of R&B stylings and thing. So why chastise the youth them now for trying to do like hip hop stylized music now and trap dancehall and all these things? To that you say what?
Okay, first of all, Shabba wasn't trying to rap, or he wasn't trying to sing like an R&B artist. Shabba was being authentically Jamaican, pairing himself with R&B artists. And they would have to use R&B, well, have to use. At the time, they believed that the way to cross over was to use the R&B sounding records, because that's what would get played on radio by the disc jockeys, because it would be familiar, it could mix with other R&B songs, and the dancehall sound wasn't refined enough to be able to play alongside those other type of records. So that was the thinking. But Shabba himself was being authentically Jamaican. Yeah? Some of the music nowadays, our artists are trying to sound like their American counterparts. They're actually trying to rap and not sounding authentically Jamaican.
Yeah.
And even lyrically using things which align with American rap culture, the words that they're choosing, the topics that they're talking about. So not only they're trying to actually rap, like physically rap, the projection, they're trying to sound like American counterparts by talking about American or rap culture topics. That's the massive difference to me. Shabba was always selling Jamaican culture. Shabba do an interview and say, in Jamaica we don't play hockey, we eat hockey. Big joke, right? Because ice hockey versus ackee and saltfish. But the point is, he's selling culture. In the interview, he's trying to say, I am about Jamaica. So I'm going to make this distinction and make a funny joke about the ackee and the hockey and whatever, because it's Jamaica I am selling, the culture. And that is what we have found over the years that people want to experience is our culture. That is why they care about this little island, because we have such a massive impact on the world with our culture. How we dress, how we talk, the kind of food we eat, our expressions, the way we party, everything, the way we talk about sex, every single thing, culturally. And it has spread so much into the world that Toronto accent is Jamaican accents and Jamaican slang words,
Yeah.
right? Which they have kind of formulated into their own thing. And you listen to this, like, that's a Jamaican word, that's a Jamaican phrase, that thing. All of the UK roadman culture and all the British stuff and all that, Jamaican. Right, exactly. Those phrases, the man them and all, and, you know, and the gal them and the catty and all those things, is all our words from long time. It's a culture. Drake is not of Caribbean descent, but he uses Jamaican culture
A lot.
a lot. Album titles, names of songs, the Jamaican artists he endorses, his own language, which is still part of that whole Toronto collective, and you know, more tunes for the head top and that way they talk.
Even him latest, it no cares. Where the fuck the function himself? Like, where?
Oh, as he said, where?
Where the function.
Right. So always tapping into Jamaican culture, because Jamaican culture is cool and it's vibrant and they love it and it's exciting and everything is all about that. It's a culture. You know what I'm saying? Usain Bolt them win a race. A friend of mine said, how long it take Usain Bolt to win a race? To when him do a race, it's not 10 seconds, it's 10 minutes, because it's a performance of Bolt after him win a race.
True.
Then him have to do the dance and before, and it's all Jamaican culture stuff and thing, and to the world and the flag and Jamaican culture. Always. It's so many instances that you keep talking about. Hurricane, Bundesliga, Bayern Munich, he wins a trophy for the first time in his life. He's on Instagram with the team singing one love, one heart, happy that he's won his first trophy. An Englishman playing in the Bundesliga is singing a Bob Marley record when he wins a trophy. Why would you sing a Bob Marley, all the records you could sing?
Yeah, Liverpool did that too.
You understand what I'm saying?
We could go band for band.
It broke my heart, and I know it broke yours too, Jeremy.
Yes,
We're
I know.
Manchester United fans, but yeah.
But where the football is another interview.
Next interview. Yeah. But look,
But what
just-
I'm saying to you is that it's always the culture.
is it normally
So when you decide, right, that as a musical artist, as any type of person from Jamaica, artist, athlete, anybody who's in a public sphere, and you decide that you want to substitute your Jamaican culture and adopt somebody else's culture, then it becomes problematic, because the international people, the foreign people, now start to say, well, we are attracted to what you guys do because of the culture. That's what we're interested in. So this no longer holds the same interest for us. Now, you might think that it's about technical ability and skill. Well, I can rap as good as them, therefore I am going to do it. Right? And they have this in their head that's what they think it's about. And it's like, no, it's never been about that. It's always just been about the culture. And this is where I think they lose focus. And time after time, and people are going to cuss me, and the comment section, and
You're
I
the
know it,
old
and I'm
man.
so used to it. Exactly. Jeremy, you're wrong. Mr. Harden, you're wrong. Times are changing. We can do what we want. The youth them time, blah, 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 blah. I've heard it a million times over. And all I keep saying is, prove everybody wrong. When I see a rapper from Jamaica with a hit record tearing up the charts in the US, the radio, whatever, the internet, whatever, all the big shows, then you are correct. It doesn't matter, and you can just do what you want to do. So far, we have not seen it happen. What we have seen happen is that people start and they try to switch and do things, and they fall flat on their face. They lose their record deals, they lose their popularity, people lose interest. Over and over. And the people who have not done it are the people who stay the course. It's Shaggy them, it's Sean them, it's Beanie them. It's these people are saying, we don't care what happened, it's Jamaican culture. No, it doesn't mean it has to be 90s culture. I'm not one of those people.
And that's one a big
no,
thing.
I'm not a 90s beat god. About 90s and I understand how they're trying to generalize it. It's a time frame. But to me, it's not even really about that. This song, Shake It to the Max by this girl Molly, to me right now, baddest dancehall song.
Yeah.
No.
Shouldn't say I make the song big, by the way.
Narrow.
Speaking of,
Narrow.
Jeremy said no.
Narrow.
How it gets up in this blood clot.
No, look at this now.
wait.
A producer friend of mine was
God.
saying to me that when the record came out, he was talking to record library, what do you call him? Custodian at one of the big radio
Programs
stations.
director.
I think more the library person.
Okay,
I
the
think he was
librarian.
giving them records to put in the library. And said to them, yo, this Shake It to the Max song, the baddest dancehall song. The guy said, oh, that's not dancehall. Afrobeats that.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's not an Afrobeats record.
I don't get
The
Afrobeat.
artist is from Africa.
I don't get it.
She's Ghanaian. but the song is not an Afrobeat song. The beat is not an Afrobeat
No.
I don't get
type
Afrobeat
of
from
beat.
it,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
you're right.
The
You're right.
lyrics is not how a typical Afrobeat thing with the melodies or the kind
Yeah.
of style. It's not an Afrobeat record at all.
Exactly.
But the guy was
I
saying,
know this is going to be a big debate right
no,
now.
but he
you're
was saying it's an Afrobeat record because it's an African artist.
Yes.
So he wants to tell you it's an Afrobeat record,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Wrong.
Lo and behold, go on find the internet now. When Apple Music says, oh, by the way, we have a new category now. It's called African Dancehall. And we're going to put Shatta Wale in there. And we're going to put this person, that person, Riri. And it's a new genre and it's going to new thing on Apple Music. So now you're going to argue that, well, you're right. It's not an Afrobeat song. Maybe it's not a Jamaican dancehall record. Guess what? It's an African dancehall record. So now you have another problem on your hand.
Africa, we have to fight Africa for dancehall. Mercy.
And we don't fight Afrobeat.
You are trying to find Afrobeats.
And Wikipedia is listed as Afrobeats dance. I know Wikipedia is not there, but I'm just saying, like, Afrobeats dance. When genre,
Afrobeat
dancehall.
dancehall.
So it's like it's
I'm
an
guessing
Afrobeat
because
song, but
because of
she's
who,
Ghanaian.
yes, of her nationality.
You saw that new
plus
Burna Boy
the
record, that
breed.
reggae record?
Yeah.
What is that? Afrobeats reggae? It's just a reggae song. It's a straight up reggae, one
It's
drop
one
reggae
or the
song.
other. Pick one.
But I'm just telling you, it's a reggae song. All I'm just trying to say to you is that even a man like that realized that this Jamaican culture is so strong. No matter I have the numbers from Africa and Afrobeats, everything is big. But me still got to tap into the Jamaican culture.
Yeah. And he does it all the time.
All the
Burna Boy,
time.
that is.
Yeah, sure.
The all time. Come here, the big performance. I love Jamaica. I'm going to buy a house here. Really, I love it. Everything.
I
Collabs
go
with
fuck the girl,
people.
them and them thing, yeah.
All the time. Our culture. While we sit down here and we want to throw it away. Because we want to rap. And we want to make trap music. And we want to do this and we want to do that. And still we want to say it's dancehall that we're doing and we're dancehall artists. And we still want to... No, what you're doing is not that. And it's not being embraced by anybody outside of Jamaica. And this is a reason why it's particular to me now. A distinction, and I'm glad we kind of get to this point. Anybody can do anything they want to do. They're free to do any music. There's no rules. There's no more gatekeeping. Don't bother start in the comments about people like you are gatekeepers. I'm not keeping no fucking gate.
They know it's that label point,
Long
right?
time. That's stupid. But I can't keep
I
how am I
shepherd.
stopping you from doing your thing? You can do what you want to do. Make your video, release your music, go on your social, put your ear, because nobody's stopping you. This is not the days of radio and, you understand? VP
produce
Records
a
have to
food.
sign you and Steele and Cleve have to...
Let me further tell you what them say about you, Jamie. You're a
Wow.
gatekeeper, you're all, no artist no want to work with you. Your time done. You're just bad mind because no artist no want to work with you. Things like that.
Okay,
is so
so
long
let's
ago.
address... so let's go through it.
I'm
First
just
of all.
saying what you
Okay,
said.
I've worked with the greatest dancehall artists on the planet. So I'm fine with that. And I have the
Slide
plaques
first.
on the wall to prove it.
Oh, I'm going to be right here.
Right?
Okay? and this is just a few of them. So whatever you want, artists don't want to work with. I have worked with some of the greatest dancehall artists on the planet. So I'm fine with that. Number one. Number two, I am getting older. We are all getting older. So you, Mr. Blogger person, you too will get old one day.
Facts.
Right? So and with age comes
Why
wisdom.
me just feel my leg hurt now?
With age comes wisdom, and age comes wisdom and experience. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna leave that right there where it is. 2, 3. I'm not bad minding anybody. What I've achieved in music, none of you have achieved it in music. Robert Livingston alone has achieved it. Sean, Shaggy, Robert Livingston, and Jeremy Hardin, and Specialist with his camp and Shabo. We are the Mount Rushmore. Right? So just get that in your head. So nobody's bad minding you for nothing. You have not had nothing that I haven't had. No hit record, no plaque, no car, no Rolex, no big house, no nothing.
That's great.
So nobody's not bad minding
Yeah, we're
anybody.
currently in a big house.
Right?
We are.
Nobody's not bad minding people. So we can get that argument out of the way. Right? What was the other one? We'll go through them one by one.
Relic of the past.
Yeah,
Oh, we did the old thing
Oh,
already.
yeah, we do the whole thing
Artists
already.
no
Yeah.
want
Gatekeeping.
work with
Artists no want to work with you, and a new artist no
We
want
did
to
that, work with all the top artists
I was a
already.
gatekeeper.
Gatekeeping. I'm not gatekeeping anything because you have the freedom to do what you want to do right now. Nobody's not stopping you from doing anything. I'm not all over the internet. I'm not on TikTok every day chatting about music and screaming at people and telling people things that I'm not doing it. You are free to do. Nobody's doing it. There is no more gate. You can now put out your music by yourself, record yourself, sign up for your DistroKid account, whichever account, go to whoever, put out your music. It's on Spotify. You can promote it. You can do your YouTube, your Viva channel. You can do as you want. Where is the gatekeeping? I don't work at a radio station. You don't care about radio anyway. I'm not stopping you. So neither myself or any one of my,
You know, on social media platforms.
right,
Yeah.
or any of my producers or people of my generation are not gatekeeping anything. It could have been an argument even when I was young and starting, and I was trying to get songs on the radio in Jamaica. That was difficult. That was 100% payola. I had to find a disc jockey and carry an envelope with your money and your 45. Without a doubt. That's gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Without then, you could not get a record on the radio. There is no internet. There is no other way to promote nothing. You understand? When Aquarius is calling the distributor and say, well, send back the records, that's gatekeeping. If you don't go to the record store and make the man them see and say, oh, that's too hard, and sell your record them. They're gatekeepers, because if them don't want to sell a record on the store, just don't move. Those people are gatekeepers. Jeremy Harding has never been a gatekeeper.
Never.
How would I have been a
You try
gatekeeper?
hold on artists though. You do
No, which artists have I held on? I've broken artists. I've got Mr. Vegas' hit song. No, but let's just start the things.
But that's what people say
This
about
is
that.
good,
I'm
this
not
is good.
saying
No, this is good, because this way we can just get it done, so the comment section can have a ball, right?
So
So,
hold on artists. What I
right.
say to that?
So I have Mr. Vegas, Nike hand in the air, Jeremy Harding bust that artist. Straight up. Assassin, one of the first records to play for him on the radio. How are you rolling Alexa? Cruise control. Jeremy Harding busting. Assassin come to my studio. His big brother used to drive him, pick him up from school, in voice in a Calabar uniform.
A Calabar
Dynamite.
Campadon.
Camp which school he went to? Is Campadon?
Campadon.
Sorry, Campadon, right. Uniform. Right? As young artists to bust. Lexus, when they was down in Barbican singing, you know better can cook. Think me there for you pretty look, you want to live out. Them, Lexus is at my studio. We are making records with Lexus, putting dub plates on him. Of course, Sean Paul. Of course. So the amount of young artists, right, that have passed through my camp, my stable, and people that I've worked with all the time. So never ever trying to get
Young artists at the time. What about the young artists them now, Jeremy?
But you just said they don't want to work with me, so how am I stopping them? how am I stopping them? You gotta choose. Either I'm holding them down or they don't want to work with me. So which one is it? You know what I'm saying?
Put some respect on my name.
Right.
me
So
ask you
so
though.
that's how
That's
you
the
have to
point.
kind of
Let me ask you,
see.
Yeah.
do young artists are like artists currently? How much of them approach and like for advice or even for your managerial services? Seeing that the amount of work that you've done in the music company.
Quite a few throughout the years. Quite a few. Mostly for management stuff, because they don't. I've been more prominent in the field of artist management, and I guess by the way, my interviews and stuff, and we talk about the business more. Even though I'm a musician and I build rhythms and produce stuff, but I don't really get that title like beatmaker, like new producer guy. I've them more as industry, you know what I mean? Manager kind of guy. So most of the approaches is usually about that.
You're not managing nobody now. Why?
Fuck them artists.
I'm managing 2 people right now. No, I'm managing 2 people right now. They're
You
my
are?
kids. That's what I'm managing.
Okay.
Them not count,
So-
them not artists.
But they're the people I'm managing. As you said, you're not managing anybody. And that's a
talking
full,
about
Jeremy,
That's
you
a
not manage
full-time
nobody.
job.
Who the artists you manage?
that's
No.
a full-time job to deal with that and family. And there's the time for that is now, not for managing artists.
All right,
the time for that is now.
seriously though, why is it that, as you said, artists have approached you, so why is it that you haven't managed them?
I have tried with some of them.
And what happened?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Usually they get frustrated that it's not moving as fast as they would like it to move. One scenario. Next scenario is that when you actually start to detail how much work it takes to get in the business, it's a shy away from it, and they're not willing to do the work. They think it's an easy route.
Because them just have the talent, so they think that the talent is in
Well, yeah, some of them have the talent might even be questionable, but they think that, or oh no, put it this way, no, hold on. They think
I like
no,
your honesty, 'cause
listen.
it's true.
No, it's a big difference. You could think you're the baddest footballer
And
until
you're
you actually
not.
go and go
Yes,
train
national
with the,
yes,
yeah, exactly,
yes,
and then you
yes.
realize that you're not the best. So
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
think they have talent, and then
Yeah.
they come around you, and they start to showcase what they can do, and then you start to pick it apart, and then they start to understand how difficult it is, or you're trying to put them on a rhythm, and in
Yeah,
the studio.
burgeoning talent, but you don't reach where you feel
Yeah,
it
they
reach in your
don't.
mind.
So sometimes that happens to us as well. And then you're saying to them, trying to be encouraging, and say, all right, but this is what we need to do, and this amount of work needs to happen. And many of them, when they see that amount of work that needs to be done, they can't take it on. They don't have that amount of dedication to it. They're not gonna do it.
Work at supermarket.
Can I just have sex with you and done, please? Can I just give you the fellatio?
That's crazy. That's crazy, Jerry.
You know?
That's good.
Oh,
All right,
So yes, you have tried, and some of them
Yeah.
have tried it for a period of time. It doesn't really go anywhere. Some of them
Yeah.
have different expectations. You say manager, what they really mean is somebody to bankroll their career.
Yeah.
They want an investor, and
Yeah.
not only that, they want somebody to invest and not tell them what to do. They want to just do what they want to do.
And you
And
just
you
back
must
it with
just-
money.
Right, you must just back with money, so they want to take advice, you know what I mean? But it's part of the, unfortunately, it's a part of how our culture has gone sideways
Yes.
with what managers and producers do. Because I've worked with artists as a producer, well-known artists who have been in dancehall and in the space, and work with me for the first time. And they come out and they say, boy, nobody's ever told me what to do before behind this. I said, what do you mean? They said, when I voice for people, them just press the button and I just voice. My mother never produced me. They never say, yo, stop, do that part over, change a lyric there, carry the melody here. They're not produced by anybody.
Right.
So it's a strange feeling for them
To actually be produced.
Yeah.
to be produced. One artist said one time to me and Arif, him said, boy, you don't know musician, you know
Arif.
magician.
Arif. Not me. You think it's like
What I said,
me.
Arif?
No.
No, Arif. Sorry.
Nobody would disturb you and say, yo, you are that
Girl, we know
person.
them.
Yeah,
Those
you're
are-
saying you guys are not musicians, you're magicians. Like, they
Yeah.
don't really, and to touch on to that point too, as well, a lot of the music thing, whether you're an artist or whether you're a producer, it does take a bit of magic, in my
Yeah.
opinion, for it to happen.
does.
Yeah.
The people who are doing it are special people. I keep having to bring it back to the sports analogy. Messi is a special individual. No matter, everybody been training like Messi from their little kids. Everybody went to La Masia. Everybody's in Barcelona camp. Everybody's doing the same drills and playing the same games. Why is he so different? There's something special about him.
Yep.
The greats have something special about them. Whether it's the Shabbas and the Cartels and the Beanies, whoever we're talking about, or the Shawns, or whether it's the Dave Kellys
And even
or the
so,
Celia and Cleaves.
They need people around them to nurture that.
But what
special
I'm
talent.
saying to you is that it's not for everybody just to get up and decide that I am a producer and I have to make it, or I'm an artist and I have to make it, because some of you just don't have the little pixie dust.
Yeah.
That magic just ain't there. And it's not that I can't apologize to you for it, for me having it or for somebody else having it. We are grateful that we have it, and we try to share. And we try to uplift others, and we're trying to create other great people out of it. You know what I'm saying? To say like, okay, I might have my idiosyncrasies with certain other things, and I'm not right about everything, but I know that I have a magical touch with certain things, and I'm going to try and help this person or that person. And that accounts for a lot of it as well. People tend to think that if you just get up and declare yourself an artist, that you automatically must be given the keys to the kingdom. You must get a seat at the table. I've decided I'm an artist, okay? So I'm making records, all right? So therefore, I'm a boss. No, not necessarily. Start your fight against me, dog. What are you talking about? It's not about that, though, because there's a part of it, that like an X Factor part,
Yes.
Yes.
that I can't determine. I can make a best guess. When I see somebody, or even audience might be say, you know, this guy might be special. Just like the sports, you say a young footballer, we think him have it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Lamine Yamal.
Yes. Yes.
This youth might have it, man. He's a kid though, so who knows? But with artists, it's the same thing. But some of that has to be there. So there's no guaranteed thing that every youth who decides to be an artist must boss. Every youth decide for Bill Rhythm must be a big producer. It's nonsensical and illogical for us to support this theory. And we do a disservice to ourselves as a community of music people, aficionados, journalists, bloggers, whatever, producers, to just say to ourselves, if a man get up tomorrow and say, Naro, I'm an artist, here's my song, and I want to come on your show and get an interview. That you must just say, all right, yeah, come.
Oh, it happens all the time.
You see what I'm saying? And then who's the gatekeeper now?
We are the bad mind people. We fight the youth. Them,
I
and
just
all that.
narrow.
Just him one.
Yeah, just that. Him determine
Yeah.
everything with the
Yes. Yes.
Let's get into a general conversation now about being signed to a major label versus being independent.
Wow.
It's a conversation going on in the space right now. We've seen several artists, certain artists out there that were signed to a major label but have mutually agreed to part ways with these labels. Mutually agreed.
Coffee
to part
Trader
ways.
drinks,
We weren't calling names. We're being general.
So you first for calling you now.
I'm not. We're being general.
I thought the public knew
We're
this.
being general, right? And yeah, the conversation, is independent better than being signed to a major? Like, how do you know when somebody's dropped from a label? Like, who determines what in regards to like what you do with the label? Like, with somebody who has had experience with working with a major label, what insight can you give us about these things?
Okay, so first of all, I don't know where to start. Let me start with this independent thing. 99% of Jamaican artists are independent. Nobody's fighting down being independent. We're all independent.
Yeah.
It is a very small sliver of people who get the opportunity to be signed to a major label. So the vast majority of people are independent artists, and they're successful, and they have money, and they have hits, and they tour, and people know them, and they have fans, and they have careers that can span decades. So there's no stigma attached to being independent that is worse in our genre than being signed to a label, for example. Because the majority of us, the grand majority, are independent. The very big difference between when an American artist, who you see on social media, or all of these kind of little channels talking about, yo, don't sign to the major, man, be independent and rate, is because they have one choice to be a star, which is to sign to a major label. It is the goal of every one of them to get signed because they cannot make it otherwise.
Yeah.
There's no facility for a small rapper in the US or R&B artist to be able to tour the world, to have the songs playing on big stations like Hot 97, to be doing big concerts and all this type of stuff and have massive fan bases in different continents without being signed to a major label. It does not happen. There's no independent R&B rapper guy that can reach that level. When I was away in Toronto and I came back to Jamaica, and a friend of mine who was an engineer and record producer, good friend of mine to this day, right? Drags, big up Drags, said this to me, I'll never forget it. When I came back to Jamaica and started making dancehall records, because I was over there DJing and trying with some Canadian rappers and something. He said to me, you don't realize how good you have it now you went back to Jamaica. I said, why? He says, when you go to Jamaica, you can sit and build a rhythm. You're not any big producer in the scheme of things in the world. You can build a rhythm and voice a liquor artist unknown from anywhere in a Jamaica and get a song which will play in Canada on the radio station, in the clubs in Toronto, in New York, in Miami, Atlanta, Brixton, all over the place. I'm in Canada. I cannot record a Canadian artist, rapper, R&B, dancehall, nobody, and get a song, not even on Canadian radio. Never on Hot 97, never on 99 Jams in Florida or whichever, Power 96, nowhere in the world. And that artist can never get any show to be paid $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 or $20,000 to tour. Impossible without being signed to a major label. You guys have it so you don't even understand how good you have it.
That's what they're saying about dancehall artists.
Yeah.
So Jamaica,
Jamaican,
we are so fortunate that most people don't understand that we have that ability. So you need not pay attention to American Instagram and TikTok channels with kids talking about fuck the majors and go independent dog and rare, because that is their frustration of not being able to be signed to a major label because there's so many of them trying to make it. And there's so little space for them. So they have a new expression to say, fuck majors, go independent, you can do it on your own, put out your own music, use social media, promote it, build your audience, and then have this whole narrative. Right? And you're going to point out, well, yeah, but there's people like Russ Jeremy, and he made it as a rapper, and then there's, Chance the Rapper. You can name 1, 2, 3 people and tell me that they're independent. Right. Chance the Rapper, the amount of people Mavro is like in build a whole label. So it's not really independent the way they make it sound. You know what I'm saying? But the point being is that we need not pay that any mind because we can sit on here and be independent. Same way, and we'd have the little man a book to show them and do our thing and voice of the producer them and do all the social media, and we will have a visa in 3 to 4 months provided we have a hit song, and we're on a plane and we're doing shows and we're doing festivals, and within 2 years you're doing shows for 10 and 15 and 20 and 30 grand and 40 grand, and you're in England and you're in Africa and Caribbean and Atlanta and Miami and New York and Connecticut and all of Toronto, everywhere. Successful. A North American act cannot duplicate that. They have to be signed to a major label. Right? So first of all, so we endorse being independent because we are independent, the grand majority of us, and we've had fantastic careers out of all of it, right? So let's start there. Major label. When you get a record deal, you get signed and contracted for a number of albums with options. It is not years. You're not signed for 2 years and 5 years. You're signed for 2 albums.
3 albums, yeah.
Right. So the way the deal will be structured is that you'd be signed for 2 album deal, 3 options.
To renew.
Correct. Which ties you up really for 5 albums. Because the idea is that, the idea used to be like, if we do 2 albums with you and grow you, you're not just going to be able to walk away and go to another label.
As in the 2 album, them hit and carry.
Yeah.
Yes, and we pump money into it and we grow you and boss you. You
So
won't
the
just be
next
able to
3
say,
albums.
bye. So you can't come to us and say, can I have a 2 album deal and cut? Like, no. I'll give you a 2 album deal with 3 options that we have to renew. The way the deals will be structured is that you'll have an advance budget to give to the artist in their hand, and you'll have a promotional budget to spend on the record, right? A guaranteed spend. So the contract will say, I'm signing you to a deal. Your first album, I'm going to give you, just call it random numbers, $100,000 cash advance, and we're going to commit to a $2 million spend on promotions for the record in the contract. So the $2 million will include music videos, radio, touring, photo shoots, stylists, publicists, PR, everything to do with the promotion of the record. Right. It's a budget that we'll have set forward so we can know. So when we're scheduling a project, we'll know that this is the first single, this is the next single, or this is the album. We're going to spend this here, there. Nowadays, it's a little bit different because you have social media, but you still have to spend. So you have to spend on the TikTok account. You have to spend on the bots to run up the numbers, on the YouTube. You're still spending, still budgeted. Okay. It escalates. So the first record, you'd say 100 grand, $2 million budget, for example. And then the deal was, how can collect back the money? Well, we're going to collect it off of, it was sales / streaming. This is our percentage that we're sharing with you. We're going to collect it off of 360 deals, which means that we'll get a percentage of your shows, right? That can be in the contract too as well. We're going to collect it off of any endorsement deals which you get, any license deals. We're going to collect it off of synchronization fees, which means putting your songs in movies or television. It was called synchronization because before you had sound in movies, you had silent movies, right? And then to add sound, you'd have to literally have the sound recorded on something else, and you'd have to synchronize the sound with the picture. That's why it's called a synchronization license. So it's still called that when you add music to a TV show or to a film, even though we're not manually syncing it anymore. That's why it's called a synchronization license. It's about marrying audio with visual content. We have to sync the 2 things together. Right? So that's what a synchronization license means. We have a movie, we want to use your song, we need 10 seconds of it in this one scene in the club where the guy goes in there and whatever. Right, that's a sync fee. Okay. And that's extremely lucrative. In the height of Sean's success, for example, one song, 10 seconds of it, in a little TV show like Will and Grace or one of those little shows, $100,000 sync fee. And then that goes to the...
Attack US.
Yes, and that goes to...
I just want to make it clear.
Right, like 100 grand easy. And then they'd have to pay for the master and pay for the publishing side. And the master side will go to Atlantic VP and the publishing side will go to Sean's publishers. Whoever did the rhythm, Sean himself, the publisher themselves, and that money gets split up. And sometimes Sean will be able to make deals with the publishers to be like, can we keep the entire sync fee and you just recoup down the line as we make more records? And they will, okay, cool, you can just keep the 100 grand. We're not going to take nothing out of it. We'll allow the split, the 80-20 or whatever the split is. So that's great money to have.
Right.
So that's how that's lucrative when people talk about synchronization. So these are the things that the label can make money from.
Right.
So streaming, sales in the physical that is still left, synchronization fees, endorsements from companies. You know, if you're a female artist, Maybelline wants to put you on the cover of something, or maybe a clothing line or something, then they come with a check. Radar can come to you, right? Liquor, anything at all. That's how they're going to make back the money. First album, as I said, 100 grand, 2 million. Second album in the contract, 150 grand, 170 grand, 3 million. Third option, $250,000 advance, 4 million. Spend. It's written in the contract. We will pay you this and spend this amount to promote you. It keeps escalating. Now, if you do your 2 projects, right, and you don't meet a threshold that they've be able to recoup the money. They say, well, we gave this person 100 grand first, and then 150 grand. We spent 2 million on the first one. We spent 3 million. We're in the hole. We have not seen any of this come back. We have put you on tour. We've put you on collab records with all kind of big artists.
You put you on late night
we've
shows.
put you on late night TV shows. We've paid for you to be on Coachella and all the other shows, them Rolling Loud, whatever other shows that are out there. And I'm not throwing words at nobody. Don't bother start with the nonsense. I'm talking in generalities. Okay? It applies to any artist, right? And could be anything.
You're on playlists.
All of those things. Get you on playlists on Spotify. You got to buy that. You have to play for that. Regular radio, you have to pay for that. All of it's a spend. Just to move you around the place. Fly from Yassa to Yassa, Jamaica to Atlanta, Atlanta to New York to London, put you up in a hotel, rent the car to pick you up, carry you here, do that, pay the stylist.
Because not enough free.
All of it. They're spending and you're racking up a tab.
Right.
When they do the 2 records, the 2 albums, right? And they sit down and the accountants say, this is not balancing back. And we don't see any projection to feel that it's going to get any better. We're not seeing an escalation or a slight rise where we're saying, you know what, let's hang in there. Let's go one more. I think we're on the verge now of breaking it. We kind of find the market now, whatever. If they're not seeing that, they will not take up the option to continue. So to use the word dropped might sound like a very harsh word. Like you're dropped, like you're fired, like you're dropped.
Right.
It doesn't really mean that. It means that you've contractually give us the 2 albums we'll ask you for. We're not going to take up the next option. So you are now free to go.
It's
So it's
essentially
not
that
that
they're
they
dropped.
mutually part ways.
No, there's no mutually. Because mutually would feel like if you're a boyfriend and girlfriend, you want to break up and you say, listen, I think it's in our best interest. We're not really getting along. I don't want to stop you. I care about you. You should do your own thing. For real, all right? No animosity.
No, be
Love you.
toxic and
That's
stay with me
mutual.
forever.
That's mutual.
And it's not, oh, I've decided to leave the label.
No, you can't decide to leave nothing. You're in a contract. You don't get up and decide to leave anywhere. It never works that way. You will be sick and still in that contract and vex and they won't let you go. For whatever reason, you don't like the people in there. They'll be like, this artist earns money for us. We're not letting them go. So somebody else can sign them and make the money after all the work we put in? Hell fuck no.
So to be clear, Jeremy, I want to ask pointed questions. What are the circumstances in which an artist can part ways with a label?
There is no circumstance. The label has to release you.
Okay.
They either have to decide that we're not taking up the option, or you'd have to be so disagreeable and cause such a problem that they're going to say it's not worth the headache to continue with this person, even though they haven't fulfilled the obligation. And then again, still, they would have to be saying, and we're still not making the money off of them, so it don't make sense to go through the headache. Because they'll suffer the headache with somebody if the money is being made. They will 100% suffer the headache and be like, yeah, that's how they stay, they're difficult, whatever, they always cost us, whatever. But the shit's streaming, it's selling, the contracts are coming in, we're syncing the things. We got 2 movie things last week, we have 2 more TV things, we're making money, we're not letting them out of this.
Stick up in, Jeremy. You've mentioned earlier in the conversation about the culture and what they look for from us, culture. In your experience, from your experience, what is it like being signed to a label? Is it that they try to force ideas and creative control on projects, or is it that they allow the artists to take control of their creative vision and artistry?
Okay, so first of all, most artists are not in control of no creative vision or no artistry. You give artists way too much credit that they're the people in control of anything.
Okay.
Let's just stick up in there. And it's just the way things function. It's not about a slight against artists. So everybody just relax, right? There are producers there who are making records for artists. I'm not talking about a man who's building a beat and you buy it off of YouTube. I'm talking about actual producers who labels are going to say, we need this artist to be in this direction. And you're the producer who's producing the goods for other people. Hired producers who are going to say, this is a sound. And this is what you should be singing. And this is what you want to do. There's writers who are there writing, who are going to and saying, we need a song for this person. They're this kind of artist. We need this kind of record. We like the stuff you've done with them. And they're writing songs for them. There are stylists, all of the people involved. It is not the artists themselves sitting down and saying, it's me, I want to write this song. I chose this beat. I chose this belt to wear with this hat to match this makeup to match whatever the fuck there. It's not the artist who is doing it. It is people who are been in the industry, who are professionals, who understand how to put these things together. When we had stylists come and work with Sean, they also work with Usher. They also work with other people. You could, after a while, it was like, hold on, the same jeans, Emma Von, and the same belt buckle. You could see cues of things, which I know because I said, this is hot now, this is working. We got this stuff out of LA, it's the brand new thing, it's this jewelry, it's chrome hearts, it's what they're wearing, and they put you in it. You know what I'm saying? They're dressing their style. The stylist doing that, not the artist. Songwriters, well, dancehall not so much because people write their own songs, but general songwriters are writing. Songwriters are writing for Rihanna. Songwriters are writing for, name it, everybody. I mean, Taylor Swift writes her own songs. Okay, fine.
But specifically, you know what I mean? For dancehall
but for anything, but there's an oversight on all of it at all times that there's people around. So it's not the artist who is making all these. The public would like to think that they're the person doing it. It's not. So there are a whole bunch of creative people around that are saying this is what works as best as we know it. Now, the mere fact that you get a record deal to begin with, people are not really signing people anymore based on potential, like maybe way back in the day. They want ready-made things. So the argument would be that you're hot in your core market, which is where we're signing you. So we assume that you know what you're doing. You have your producers, the sound that you're working with, it works. We want to capitalize on it, and that's why we're going to sign you. So you will get that breath of freedom to do what you're supposed to do. Initially. If it looked like it not working, they might want to step in and say, maybe we should try this. Have you ever heard of this artist? Well, there are artists out of the UK and they do drum and bass, and they have a massive audience, and they kind of cross over to Jamaican thing. We're going to put you with them. Then you say the artist doing a song with, you know what I'm saying, whichever UK artist, for example. And you'll be like, oh, that's cool. That's a wicked collab. And Ray. That's when the label starts to step in and do those type of things. To say, let's try and expand your market and see if we can. So they'll make little plays and little moves like that. The video directors, by and large, video directors shop projects. When you see treatments and some music videos out there, they already have it that they want to shoot that video.
It's like, who want to use this one?
Exactly. So the same way producers shop beats, video directors shop treatments. That's what they're called. Yeah? I've experienced it firsthand. I've seen videos that came to us, and we're like, nah, it doesn't work. And then 6 months later, I saw our next artist with it. And I'm like, it's the same. That's the same concept. That we saw the storyboards for it. That was the same thing. So, but of course, they're not going to tell you. They're going to say, this concept's just for you, man. I listen to the song. This is what I think should happen.
I had you in mind. I dreamed it too.
Why people so like?
And you see it even in the Jamaican music videos, you see it. Because it's like a wicked, by the way, the music video thing in Jamaica is off the fucking chain. I'm going to tell them that the video man them out there, so the videos are crazy. We're not going to deny that. The videos are amazing. The level of quality, the shots, the drone, camera, everything that they're doing, the editing, is brilliant. But when you see a lot of those videos, you say to yourself, they just wanted to make this video, you know. It never matter what the song is about. Because this video does not to do the song. You understand?
Get this out.
No, a bad piece of video, and you like the video bad, and I'm like, well, this video doesn't have nothing to do the song though, because what is he talking about? And so you can see it even in the local productions the same way. Okay? So they do all of these things, and there are all of these people that are involved. So the major label is going to allow you to do your thing, because they sign you because it's your thing you do. But then they'll put you with the one collab here and the one there, and they'll put a bit of guidance. And if the project starts to go, they'll start to kind of more guide it. Because it's not really going anywhere where we're seeing anything working. And at that point in time, you're supposed to have this relationship with the label to understand that, okay, I'm in a marketplace. What is it that you need me to do to feel happy? I needed to have a radio record. I needed to have a hit, a top 40 record that can play everywhere. Can you make me a record like that?
When they say top 40, Jeremy, explain.
Top 40 record, Billboard, top 40 hit record, smash, radio. That is competing with everyone. Not a reggae chart, which is nonsense, because there's no sales and nothing for a reggae chart to mean anything. It doesn't. I know we like to say number one on the iTunes reggae chart or the Apple Music reggae chart, and it's a little bit of, you know what I mean, whatever. But the numbers are so small that as a professional industry person, it's not even something that really needs to, you know what I'm saying? You can flex it if you want, but the numbers are pathetic. I sold 800 copies this week to be the number one on the Apple Music reggae chart. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So that's not what we should be focusing
Ugly
on.
truth.
Right? So what I'm saying is to be a top 40 record. No, this is the distinction I want to give you.
This is when they sign to a major. This is what we're
Yes,
talking
yeah,
about.
signing to a major, 100%. And then we can switch to just being just independent.
Yes.
When you're signed to this major, when you're 50 Cent and you're the most hardcore rapper ever at the time and you're shot 8 times and live to tell the story.
9.
9 times. 50 Cent
Good rap.
understands that he needs to make a record. You can find me in the club. I need to make a record. Window Sharper. And those are the smashes,
Yes.
which make him a mega star.
Smash.
He can also do his gangster records and talk about being shot 9 times. And the hood records. No problem for the street. We get it. Jay-Z them, same thing. He knows he has to make a song like Crazy in Love with Beyonce to be a freaking smash. Cardi B can go and talk about,
I like it
wet
like
ass pussy, rah, with thing, make the big slack song. But then she knows, her management knows, her label knows. Everybody around her knows you need to go make I like it like that with a little Latin something with the familiarity of that sample for her Latin audience who are going to eat up that fucking record. So they get it. We do not seem to get it. We just want to make WAP over and over, all the female artists. All the male artists just want to make the songs about how much people I'm going to shoot up and the gangsters and the
Can't them
gangsters.
see it work for the hip-hop artists.
But it's not what works for the hip hop artists is the commercial records that make them the mega stars. That allows them to do the hardcore records for the street.
Even Eminem, somebody like Eminem, like the 8 Mile, the knees weak, arms, or whatever that song there. Like he might be in commercial song, but then when he might talk about him killing mama, hating mother and him something, that's not commercial. Like you have to really be a fan of Eminem for know them
So
songs.
you have to know to make the balance between
Yeah.
it, because you need to satisfy the fact that people are spending this money to be a mega star. You need to have these mega star hit smash records. So if you're on a major label, I don't know why it's that difficult not for the typical Jamaican artist who gets signed to understand that. Yes, you got signed because you did some little hardcore record or maybe people liked it and you got a little place, but not the position that you're at. When you have resources in front of you, they're going to say, yo, we can get you with almost any producer, any writer, this person, that person, and we can get you on all of these radio stations and on TV and on Dreary and Jimmy Fallon and this, etc. Then you should be saying to yourself, wow, my time to break into the big time now. Let me make that record that can take me there. Or make a bunch of those records. And from a Jamaican core audience, no problem. I go voice a little slack song or a little gangster song or whatever you want to do and keep Jamaica happy and the streets happy and my little YouTube fan base happy and keep them happy and make those records. That's the formula.
So
Is it
1000%.
unfair to have a different level of expectation of these artists that are signed to majors, like local artists?
What do you mean different level of expectation? What do you
So,
mean?
as you say, like...
That they can't understand what I just told you?
Yeah. Essentially, like...
All right,
we need that smash there, like... Yeah,
well,
we want
to me, it's just more on common sense. But if not, there's going to be people around you saying, this is what you should do. And they're going to double down and be like, no, I'm not doing that because I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this. And it's like, okay, but it's not working. Can't you say that it's not working? You're at a major label, you're going to have meetings all the time. They're going to come on back and give you numbers. They're going to tell you, it's not working in this market. It ain't playing here. The streaming numbers are not up. It's not this. You're going to be like, yeah, but it's trending on YouTube. It's trending on YouTube in Jamaica, on Jamaican YouTube. Go on your browser and put in your VPN and change it to London or to New York, and then go back and hit the trending chart, and you will see it's no longer there because you are trending in Jamaica. You follow what I'm saying?
big difference.
Very massive difference.
Yeah.
And also in Jamaica, when you can be excited that you've done 1 million views or 2 million views, for us, that's nothing. Reggaeton artists have 200 million views on YouTube. What
In
are
a
you talking
week.
about? You know what I'm saying? When big artists drop songs and things, they need to sit 35 million views, 40 million views on YouTube within the for them to even consider that the record can go there. So it's all within scale. We're talking about people who want to be on major labels.
Yes.
Right? So if you want to live that life, that is what you need to do. If you want to perform on those stages and work with those big artists, and that is what you need to do.
Another
So
No.
question,
Go on, Jamie,
yeah,
go on.
before we forget it.
If you don't, okay, ask a question.
Yeah, so I'm a dancehall artist. Get the breakthrough in dancehall. Major label signs me, but
Yeah.
I now decide that I want to do pop.
Right.
Is the label going to say, well, we love that you were doing dancehall, we think you should stick to dancehall, or they say, okay, yeah, sure, you can try pop and we will work something out with you in that genre?
No, never.
What?
They're not signing you to be a reggae artist until you want to be. First of all, you can't decide to be pop. Pop is not a genre to decide to be in. Pop means popular music, and it is a function of a record which starts to appeal to a larger audience in segments which are not controlled by a narrative of it being urban or it being country or it being R&B or something. It's a wider audience on a radio station or on a market which says like, okay, we are now considering this record to be a popular enough record to play multi-format. So it's not a genre.
Jeremy, I'm the artist, and what I say goes.
No, you're not, because I'm the guy with the money spending on the record, and it's my label, and I'm making it into a star, and I'm investing in it to make back my money. So I say how it goes, because I've been doing this for 50 years, 60 years, 100 years, however old the label is. You have just now come into the building. I've seen many like you before. I've signed many black kids who sing R&B. I've signed many rappers from the hood. I've signed many girls who are, all of them. It's a repeatable process for me. I know the markets, I know where it works.
Yeah.
You understand?
I know the
and
formula.
Yes, we have the pop department. And the pop department is the white artists who take a little bit of R&B and a little bit of little rap stands, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and they make this kind of music, and it's designed to be pop music. We have pop songwriters who know the kind of records to write. These records are upbeat, they're in this kind of key, they're playing on these radio stations, they're playing these markets where a white audience listens to them on the radio stations, and that's who we target, and that's who those people listen to. We're not putting your record to that market, because that market is a place, a demographic in this place in the United States, which this is a place where it's Republican, there's no liberals, there's no black people, there's no ethnic community, so you can't play in that market.
Straight up.
You won't stream in that market, because the streaming demographics can show you where you're streaming too. We might not see it, they can see it on their end where it is being streamed the most. You can't be in that market. So we're not going to waste time within that market. Dancehall specifically has very specific markets, and it's particularly where the diaspora markets are.
Yeah.
So it's
New York,
Connecticut,
Florida.
it's New York, it's Florida. Not even Florida so much, it's Miami. You know what I'm saying? It's certain places like that where it really works. It's not Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
You understand? It's not Detroit.
No.
It's not Chicago.
Ohio.
It's not Ohio. But an R&B artist, Chicago, Detroit, Atlanta. So it's very, very different. So even when you're collabing with people, there are people making decisions to say like, okay, we should put this Jamaican person with that person, and why? Or why not? Because it can or it cannot work within a market. So it's always strategic to say, put you with you, because that we can tackle that market, will be accepted there. That record is no. So you don't get up and decide, I'm a pop artist. No, you can't decide you're a pop artist. First of all, you're black. So the only way you're going to be pop is if you're a megastar like Rihanna or somebody that you can go into this outside of being urban and being pop.
Michael Jackson, of course.
Exactly. So that's where it goes. And when he first started, it was
R&B.
It was
R&B and
disco.
playing on rhythmic radio, you used to call it,
Yes.
and those places. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to pop. So you just don't get up and decide that. Number one. And number two, as you said, yes, that's what I signed you for. I signed you to play defense. Well, I want to be a striker. We talking about? You're a centre back. That's why I signed you. Well, I decided I want to be a striker. It doesn't.
Quite
You understand what I'm saying now? Like, why would you
like
think
that.
that's how that works? You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this
Bingo
now.
dancehall.
Yeah, but bingo dancehall. So let me ask you this, Jeremy.
And I was going to be so calm.
Let me ask you
Just
this.
talk easy and
Oh,
smile
no,
and big up
no.
everybody in the
We are
industry.
talking
I mean,
truth,
I
just
fever.
put
I
it forward,
fever.
the fever, blame for the fever. So how should we how should the general public look at these quote unquote releases now? Should we look at them as them flop failures? Or, this is a good thing, they're independent now. How should we look at
The way
these
forward.
artists being signed to these major labels, and then, a couple years later, they're released, or them part ways, or them depart? How should we look at this?
The general audience, you would assume, are fans of the artists. So they want to see the best for the artists. So
I don't think it's the artist, it's the culture, it's the genre. General audience.
Okay,
Them specific.
but the general
niche.
audience wants to see everybody rise up, right?
Right,
They don't want
right.
to see anybody fail. So
Right.
even if somebody stumble and fall, they're not going to want to say, you fail, you get
True,
dropped, good.
Unless you're a horrible person.
Right, exactly. They're not going to really want to do that. They're going to want to be supportive. They're going to want to be in the comment section. You go, you can still do it.
Yes.
You believe in you. Da-da-da-da. Still my artist, believe in your potential. Da-da-da, and have the argument. So they're always going to keep saying that
That's the
at
reality.
all points in time. That's the reality. And they have a feeling where there's a positivity culture and nobody wants to be negative. So everybody just, anything you put out, everybody's fire emojis and it's great
Ugh.
and rare and this type of thing. And that's how they are.
I want to see
and
what's
this-
the actual reality.
You know what I'm
there.
saying?
It's
Right.
my
So,
father.
so that's what the audience is always going to want to do because it's a function of social media like that to show positivity and support for people because people use social media like that as well as a way to look for that support. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to go and bare their soul and they're going to go on their live and they're going to say this about this and say that about that because they want the comments. Keep your head up. Don't worry about it. We believe in you. Because they look for it. So very much a
Validation.
function of social media is like that. Some spaces are brutally honest though, like maybe Twitter or some X or some of them. You see people make comments and be like, nah, this is trash or whatever. But other spaces like the YouTube comments and the Instagram things, it's just all emojis and great and everybody's fantastic and really. So it's hard to gauge what people really say because they're just trying to be supportive is what I'm trying to say to you. They also have a thing where they just want to see people win by any means necessary because a lot of people who are fans of people, you're trying to project yourself, which is why you like this person. So you want to see them be successful. Because you feel if they can win, then you feel that you have won with them.
Right.
Sometimes
Right.
the opposite is true too.
Exactly.
But so you fulfill too.
Yeah, that can be true too as well. So for the most part, they're always going to try and say, it can work. Believe. This is Jamaica.
My
Yeah,
father.
that's believe. That's
My
believe.
father.
Right. It can work. Believe. Because the motivation is not so much about, I need to see you make a great record. It's about, I want to see you be successful.
No matter what.
No matter what, at any
At
cost.
least have the look of being successful.
So we're going to support the thing because I want and we want to see the girl thing work, we want to see the guy thing work, a good youth, blah, 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 blah. So we have this thing that goes with it as well. So it's very difficult. So somebody will put out a piece of music and I'll say that it's trash. Jeremy, how can you say it's trash? Are you the gatekeeper? No, I have taste in music. And in as much as when a movie comes out and the movie is bad, you will tell me that the movie is trash. If a man open a restaurant and the food tastes bad, you're going to tell me the food is trash. It applies to art, anyway, just the same.
But for
No,
here
but
now
it's
it's like
subjective. Art
Just the
is
same.
very subjective.
Right? Just,
What I like is not what you like.
Exactly. But if it's subjective, it's usually subjective by the decision of the masses and the audience that you're trying to make it. So if it doesn't have the numbers, if the restaurant closed down because nobody is there, it's trash.
True.
Well, I did like the food. You one did like it, but not enough people liked it for it to remain open.
Yeah.
You
Is
understand?
that thing
This
with our
movie has
culture?
flopped at the box office. Why? Because people went, they saw it, they said it's trash. They tell their friends, don't waste the time, don't bother to see it.
Word of
Reviews
mouth.
came out, then it flops. It doesn't make any money. And you say, that movie, all right, it was garbage. One man, I get it. I liked it. How can you say it's subjective? It's proved that it didn't work.
Listen,
But
the
it
room
made
was
$42 million, but $180 million it cost to make the movie.
Exactly. So therefore, it didn't work. It flopped. And then people pick it apart later and said, "Oh, there's a reason why it flopped. The
Yeah.
script was wrong, the storyline, this didn't make
Director,
sense, that didn't
actor.
type." It can be a million things. The acting, all that stuff. And music is no different. And you have to have a level of your same subjectivity to know that there is a quality standard. You guys run up a podcast on a show, and you take very detailed thing in your setup and your lights and stuff like that. If when it look on thing it look bad, people will say, "Yo, it look like trash."
Yeah. Nobody put it out.
But there's no like but I did like how it looked, dog. I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's not to standard, and music is no different. But we have decided that we don't want to judge music by that standard anymore. We've thrown away all standards. So if the man can't DJ and singing off key, the song not mixed properly. You understand what I'm saying? It not good. Everybody's afraid to say, "Yo,
Yo,
it's
the
not
youth,
good."
man, he might try it.
Exactly. So we're back at this thing. So you have lower the bar till there's no bar. There's no bar. You can just do anything and back anything, and people must just support it because believe, dog, it can work. And that's where we're stuck. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's when we're stuck. So
Delusional.
now,
Yeah, oh, Jeremy said, believe that.
Funny, that was it. was just like,
Believe
dude,
your
like
dad.
him eat the word believe.
Yeah.
Yo, the
It's the
word
thing
believe
now. It's
just-
what you guys
The word
say.
believe I just fuck, you know.
Believe.
There's lie in the word believe. Did you know that? Did
So-
you know that? There's lie in the middle of believe.
So,
Yeah.
and we can understand all this, but there comes a point where positivity alone cannot bring forth the result. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It has to be at a place where performance must count.
Mm-hmm.
When we're at champs and we're cheering on the kids, we're not saying believe, dog. We're saying yo, the youth, him win.
Yeah.
You understand me?
And we have very high standards when it come on to track and field for real.
And
And
that-
run
and
for
that's-
cuss people. Yes,
Sports.
that's
So when
sports,
everybody's there, we say, yeah man, the youth have potential. But when the race run, them are gonna say him win, him come second, him come third. Them man, we forget about them, we move on.
Yeah.
The focus becomes on
Why
these
is it
guys.
that we can't have the same level of criticism when we have to sports that we have for sports?
With
That
music.
would-
Because it's all
But-
subjective.
But this is a question I'm saying, but it's not though, because it's still performance based. It's still performance based.
by different metrics though.
But
different
but it
metrics.
still
All
has
over
a
the place
metric.
by some-
It's
by-
still,
by
and this
some
is
time.
why the artists then will get dropped because it's performance based, and they will get dropped because they have not met the criteria. You have not streamed enough. You have not earned enough money. We have not got enough sync licenses. We have not got enough. There's no interest. We have tried everything with you. We've put you with all of the big stars. We've put you in all of the big shows, and it's not working. So you are dropped. You are released from this contract. There's no more option because it's still performance based. It's not based on how many bots you can get to say, fire, who's here for this record? So and so never disappoints, blah, 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 and all of that. You can't do it that way. Now,
Jeremy,
why are you
know the
guys
comment
laughing
there.
when you know this is how it works?
Yeah, them never disappoint for real. They never disappoint.
Say the same thing.
In every video.
Every video, every comment.
You know, Jeremy probably are one of them like, he might think something else. I'm saying, let me check the comments if somebody say it.
Say, I know
Fire,
the fuck up.
fire, believe.
Molly Dan say it the best, like, go suck yourself if you have said that. Me don't want to say that, God, they everywhere. But I'm going to disappoint you sometimes.
No, I understand it's a level of promotion that you play the game and everybody
Yeah.
plays it. I get it, you know. I get it. You play the game to do it, to promote and to hype it up. And I understand that. It's a part of it. The majors do it too. Everybody does it with the comments. I get all of it. But at some point, it must yield the results. It's still going to be. So if you start off by those comments, it still needs to be performance based at the end of the day. So if it's not there, you get dropped. It's just that simple. You can make your publicist go write anything.
Release.
Mutually
Jeremy, why
agreed.
use nice
Really,
words?
write all the nice words. Parted ways.
Parted ways.
Yeah.
Decide all this spin which they're paying these people to write to make it,
Departed.
don't make it look so bad or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that if you're earning money for the label, they wouldn't release you. They would re-sign you. You'd still be in a deal because you'd be earning money, and they'd be ready to spend even more money on you to keep going.
Yeah.
Right?
To use a
Jeremy-
food option, KFC don't
Oh, God, of
stop
course.
sell the cookie. If the cookie did not sell, it would have still have a cookie.
Exactly.
Of course, I get
Exactly. And there's other things which they've brought to KFC in Jamaica that don't work, and it
Yeah.
comes off of the menu.
Yeah.
Curry chicken.
Yeah.
Curry chicken.
Fuck.
Right.
Big as
Yeah.
fuck, right?
Yes, I jump.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but Jeremy, I feel out of place at this record label.
Yeah.
Like,
They don't understand
They
me.
don't understand me.
They're not doing their job. They don't get the Jamaican market. They don't get the dancehall market.
It's possible. It's possible, but it still ends up in being its non-performance. And if you can't convince them otherwise how to make it so it might want to work, then yes, they're going to release you from the contract. When they're happy or satisfied that you're not performing, it's not mutually agreed. It's going to be like, you're going to do these 2 records regardless because we have already spent the money for this on the budget. So we need to see it turn over. We need to strike this off of the books. We need to write it off. So if you want to say that, then that's your prerogative to say that. It was not an easy walk in the park for anybody to be signed to a major label because half the time they don't understand certain nuances of certain things. So even when we're signed to majors, we had to explain a lot of things to them to say, no, that's not quite how it works. They want Sean to perform at Rockefeller Center. They say, okay, no problem. We're going to have the girls dancing and we're going to put them in the red, green, and gold. And we're like, what? Yeah, the Jamaica colors, the red, green, and the gold. And we're like, no, that's not Jamaica. That's Rasta
Africa.
colors. That's Rasta colors they're thinking.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I said our thing is the black and the
green.
yellow and the green. You understand? Black, not red, green. And they're like, what? We thought that was Jamaica. It's Rastafari.
Them little nuances in there.
It's nuances. And other people might get away with it. You certainly can't put Sean Paul in a red, green, and gold. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Down the line, he gets crucified for it. Not so much him. But when he makes his video with Gwen Stefani, The last one they put out, and she was with all the red, green, and gold
Yeah.
something them. And the internet had a field day.
Yeah.
Culture vulture, they killed her. You see, but nobody would have been there to say, Gwen, I know you're trying to big up the reggae thing and the Jamaica thing, but you said this Rastas,
It's sacrilegious what
this
you're doing.
what you're doing right now for you.
Yeah.
Let's not go
You
there.
don't get it. You have a naked man dancing in your video. Bonafire.
You can't. This is gonna be too much. The audience, especially nowadays with this, cancel culture, people and all, they're gonna be like, what is this white girl doing wearing all of this Rasta thing in the Sean Paul video? First of all, I'm more problem with Sean, whether he's black and white, Portuguese,
Hispanic.
Spanish, from Jamaica or not. The worst I got to that should have been an immediate red flag when you're doing that music. When she show up, people should be like, she's not dressing like that. There's no way. You know what I mean? So it ends up killing the record before the record can even go somewhere. It was a good song. But I'm just saying, so there are tells and little things like that that major labels might not understand. Marketing stuff. They want to do some video one time with Sean and they want to have steel pans. And I'm like, we need
That's
steel
Trinidad.
pans.
What?
And they don't get it. But to them, they think it's one. So we have to
doesn't
make
fit.
little...
Yeah.
So that does happen.
Yeah, of course it can definitely happen. You know what I'm saying? So you do have to kind of guide them in a certain way to be like, well, this is my brand. But you see, the problem is that these artists that we're talking about,
They don't even know either.
no, but they're not displaying about trying to protect their Jamaican culture. They're
They're not
happily
trying to
going
fit in.
along to be
Yeah.
look like Americans.
Yep.
They're making records and they're rapping and they're talking about, and you're like, what are you doing? So they're just there like, yeah, if it can work for this rapper, it can work for me. And then it's like,
You know what I mean?
it's not, it's, yeah, the language, everything is like, but it's not going to work for you. You are here because of what you did, which was singularly Jamaican, which you should be proud of, which you should be riding forever with to get to where you want to go. Once you abandon it now, because in your head you're thinking this Jamaican thing not going nowhere. If I do rap, I can go somewhere. If I try and do hip hop, I can do somewhere, I go try and do that. You fail.
Yeah.
But
So
I
with
have
that
the
being
Jamaican
said,
aesthetics in my music videos and visuals.
But culturally, but you keep saying that. But Spotify doesn't have videos. So, and that's where it counts when people are streaming records. So you're focusing so much on the visual thing and the social media. That's all fine and good. But at the end of the record comes like, yeah, we don't make money off of YouTube though. We make money off of Spotify and streaming, Apple Music. We need people to stream these records. We make money off of these records being synced in TV shows and in movies. We need people to call us and be like, yo, your artist is hot. We have a club scene. It's the baddest record right now. We need to put it in the scene, in the show and in the movie because it's going to be current. People are going to love it. How much that going to cost? That's the cause you want to get. You're not worried about, well, I did this TikTok post and look how many follow.
And I got 1 million views on TikTok.
It's good. You need to do it to promote the thing, but you need to promote something which is going to promote to something, to go somewhere.
to make money.
You guys saw the
earning.
Met Gala stuff?
Yeah.
yes.
You saw Andre 3000 with his big piano on his
Yeah,
back?
yeah, yeah.
I started like, what is this madman doing? What is wrong with Andre
Then him
3000?
release a
The
video.
next day, pianos,
The same
sketches,
day.
whatever, the same day. And I was like, oh, it's stroke of brilliance. All the time he does that. Met
Yes.
Gala, the perfect place for him to do that. And people say, what is this man
What
doing
is he
with a
doing?
fucking piano? But then you realize he has this project.
Yeah.
And so now people are interested in the project. They're like, oh, that's what. And now they're going to go, they're going to stream it. They're going to, you know what I mean? Andre 3000, after he made his flute album, then they might make the piano one. We don't know if he's ever going to make a rap album again, but he's working the thing with a promotion. Our artists, them just out there doing things, there's no music to promote. They just a run off their mouth. Just a chat up, just in a clothes and just doing things and just doing all kind of things.
And that's the lifestyle, my father.
Right, exactly.
I'm talking to
And-
this
and there-
person.
and there's no
you don't
music.
know what I'm talking about, but hey, I'm
And there's no
with these
music and not
people.
promoting nothing. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, okay, I don't understand what you're doing. You want to be popular and thing, but you're not selling anything because this doesn't earn money for anybody involved in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And even if you're independent, Naro, you have to pay people to do
Yes.
things for you.
Absolutely.
So the
Out of
minute
pocket.
you decide that you're independent, you're happy to be independent, and you're my label and rare, forget that. They didn't understand my
Freedom.
music, freedom.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing happens. Okay, good. Producer, I want a beat. All right, that's gonna cost 5,000 US. But I thought me and you were friends. Yeah, but that label used to pay me that, so I need. Oh, okay. Engineer, I need to mix this song. Okay, that's gonna cost you $2,000. But you're my boy. We work all the while. You always record my stuff. See, but the label's been paying me.
I ain't not give me that pussy, so.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Every
So the cons basically outweigh the pros when it comes on to being an independent artist. Like, can
Well,
it work?
to being an independent artist and still expect the same trappings of a major label artist.
Yeah.
Once again, I said 99% of us are being here as independents. At a level that we can be independents, we can still manage. A regular dancehall artist can still do their shows. Them can still have the person who book the shows for them. Them can still have one social media person that them hire to do their posts for them and put up their things. They can still have people around them, a manager who they pay, a DJ come on the road, but it's within the level. They understand that I'm doing a show, I get 10 grand US a show. So I can only afford to pay this man $500 a month to do the social media.
It's
US.
not all doom and gloom, it's just about understanding how to
Yes,
work.
I can
that
still afford.
space.
This is the level of things which I can afford. And that publicist that them can pay for the $500 can maybe do the local thing, maybe get a one shade room thing, but then it stops. They can't go further than that into bigger levels because they don't have the reach, because they're not that level person. But you don't set your thing to a different place. Your booking agent's the same thing. Can you get me on the St. Kitts Kite Festival, for example? Sure, no problem. Can you get me on Coachella? No. We can't do Coachella.
No.
We're not that level.
Yeah.
You are not that level. We are not that level. It can't work. So everything must adjust and settle back to a level. You see what I'm saying?
So basically, if you want to be an international superstar, you need the backing of a major label.
100%, because they have the relationships and
The
they have the
money,
pull,
the
and this is how that
resources.
works. When they want to get the artists, we have this new Jamaican artist. We want to get them on Jimmy Fallon. They can call the bookers for the Jimmy Fallon show. We want to get this artist. Who are they? Oh, it's so and so. I never really heard them. Well, they have a little song right now, and it's kind of going on well, and it's playing on this radio station. It's doing that. Okay, we're going to look on it. Then we look on it and say, yeah, I see it seemed to have a little bit of a buzz. I've noticed it's been playing a couple places. But tell you what about pick an artist? Don't you have the new Usher project coming out? Yeah, we're not scheduled that for the next 6 months though. We need first dibs on Usher on national TV. So we'll give you your slot for your reggae artist
Right.
if you can give us Usher when he comes out. Deal.
Quid pro quo.
And then that gets done.
Yeah.
Or same thing with a big stage show or whatever. It's the same type. They're going to barter all the time and work it that way. When they go to radio, it's the same thing. They're going to barter all the time. Yo, we need to get this into rotation. Okay, but we really want that record first. Come to us first. And you know what I mean? We want the brand new release or anything. Bloggers, websites, the same shade rooms, anything. We want the exclusive. We want to drop it first. You know, we're going to come to the interview. No, we need it to have Breakfast Club. We need it first. Don't go to Drink Champs. Don't go to Ebro in the morning. We need this exclusive on it.
Right.
And in exchange for that, we will do that for this person. So it's leveraging relationships that majors can do all the time, just as much as it is with the money. It is not the artist calling the people. It's not the artist that gonna call Charlemagne and talk about, I want to be on the show. Yeah, you come through, no problem.
Charlemagne, I forgot you have been producer, the program director.
He does not pick in guests.
Yeah.
It doesn't go through him at all. It's other people are deciding that. And then they get the brief. This person's coming to do their research, to do the interviews. That's how they do it. At all levels, it's going to be like that. You're going to work with another artist. Me and that artist is cool because we did a show and I saw them backstage and I have them on my phone or whatever. Yo, we should hook up. We should do a record. Yeah, for real. Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. What do you need? Okay, boom. Manager, so-and-so want to do this song with me. Who is that person? Okay, Ray. Label, so-and-so want to do this song. Who's that person? What are they doing? Do they have any spins anywhere? Are they streaming? Are they signed to a major label? What are they doing? No, we're not doing that record with them. Done. End of story.
Yeah.
What does that other artist have to do? Yo, we're not going to hook up. Yeah, I've just been busy. They're going, go forever. You're Jamaican, you're frustrated. Why I can't do this thing with this artist? You no longer have any backative. Their management is going to say, no, bad idea, not doing it. Their label is going to say, hell no, cannot be done. We have no leverage. You're not signed to a label. We have nothing to trade back and forth. We don't have services from anybody else to do anything else. We can't do it. And as a matter of fact, we are dropping a single next month, so you can't go do a record with this person when they want to put it out. Impossible, because we can't have that record. It's going to compete with our record. You understand? So we
Yeah.
can't have two records by you in the same space. Competing against each other, and you are a guest on this person's record and we have our record. So the answer is no, not no, definitely not, whatever. So you get cramp again. Major labels them could have worked it out with their relationships. Give us that, okay, we'll hold back our release, we'll give you a 2-month run at radio, we'll do this instead, and by the way, you know, we want this artist on this, or we want, and they will horse trade and get it done. Understand me? So the public has a fascination with artists because that's who they love. That's why they're there, for the artist. So they want to believe the artist wrote the song, the artist chose the outfit, the artist chose the video, the artist chose the beat, The artist decided to go here and perform
They
Why
this.
have-
that sound like
The
a song?
artist wanted to go on the stage and perform this
They
way.
have the rights to all their music.
They are doing everything right, and artists must own the rights to their masters,
Yeah.
and blah, and the audience runs with this.
Yeah.
And this now becomes the new entertainment of the public who knows nothing about music business,
No.
trying to now use this as entertainment to try
Yeah.
and figure out who is doing what and
And
what
if you're
is
not
what.
supportive and you're not fully 100% supportive or singing the praises of their favorite artists, you're Fight Against, you're Hold On,
exactly.
you're Bad
Bad
Nine,
Nine.
you're
Yeah, Pussy.
Wicked, yeah, da 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 da.
What the hell?
You're all.
Right, you're a gatekeeper, right? That's how you're going. And I'm just sitting here saying, no, but I'm just showing you the reality of how it's working. And the reason why people like myself or other older people in the industry, why occasionally will feel this vocal, is because this is something which we have been a part of the creation of. We have all put in our life, livelihood of working for this to get where it got to. And the people before us, we're standing on the shoulders of giants all the time. So without Robert Livingston and Shaggy, there is no Sean Paul. Robert is a personal mentor to me. When I'm doing Sean and Robert, they tell me, yo, look out for that, watch out them people that stay like actually physically telling me things to do. Specialists to at certain time used to do it. You know what I'm saying? And the people before them, they got instruction from other people who were there before them. You're always learning and you're always clearing the path for more people. When I'm laughing, I'm saying, look how we took this Norbrook's finest and made the man the biggest dancehall star on the planet. How is that possible?
Jeremy,
You get him, Uptown Rebel.
I feel like that.
Exactly. But
I
you know
feel
what
like
I'm
that
saying?
for go for him Edstone, Jeremy Edstone. Here lies Uptown Rebel.
Right, but it's a massive journey and you open doors and expose things for other people to come through until nobody's asking that question anymore. Are you from Uptown? Nobody cares. Bad artists are bad artists. They're not really concerned. People in North America are not concerned. They don't care. We met people that say, oh, I love dancehall, man. Sean Paul says, their head doesn't, oh, Norbrook and this up. They don't care. It's just good music. You know what I'm saying? So you always continue. So nobody's sitting down about bad mind and hate. That's a stupid argument. I've overachieved in this industry. Nigel Staff has overachieved. Big up my friend Nigel in this industry. You know how long Nigel play music? 17 years old and toured Shabarangs. What are you talking about? Nobody can talk to him about dancehall.
They have little artists. and
No
styling
blogger,
and-
no vlogger, no fucking nobody can say nothing to Nigel Staff about dancehall. I tell you that now 100%. Him understand it. In many ways better than me too. Because him been on the front line with the man them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So people like Nigel and certain people like that, big up my friend Birch. No people, Birch was on tour. Dennis Brown as a teenager. What are you talking about? Bro, what are you talking about? These people have put in the blood, sweat and tears. They've been there from day one, witnessed everything. From Dennis Brown to Shaggy to Diana King. People like Birch, the big producer, making big records. And because now we are in our 50s, you're going to sound there, you guys are old and on the bad man. You don't be stupid. What are you talking about? What we have achieved, most will never see.
Yeah. And what we achieve is what really make you be able to come into the dancehall.
This
is what
is
inspire
exactly.
you. Yeah.
So we want to see it grow. We don't want to see it stop. What are you kidding me? The dream is for everybody to get signed and everybody to cross over. And for us to have the dancehall Grammy category. Right now, you're going to get the African dancehall category before you get the dancehall
Absolutely.
category. That's what's going to happen.
If we ever.
If Burna Boy and Shatta Wale and them and they keep doing the numbers that they're doing, then they go, oh, these guys deserve their own category now.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So we're not trying to fight nobody, hold back nobody, gatekeep nobody. We're offering encouragement to say, gentlemen, ladies, you see what you do? You see if you just, from experience, I'm telling you, say, this is how, this is the path.
Yeah.
Until the path change, this is the path to go on. And that is why we're trying to explain certain things. That's why we get upset. That's why people get vocal and talk about this trap dancehall and riri and they use them and man and mash up the business talk, and that's why we get it. Because it's the frustration we feel of something we have built and put blood, sweat and tears into. And we
the
want it to
passion that you
proliferate.
have to-
Yes, I want it to grow, bro. It's not about fighting down youths and what are you talking about? Nobody comes to that. When you're the little young striker on the football team, you learn from the older striker them. You don't just come and say, I know everything about football.
Ted Lasso, guys. Watch Ted Lasso.
But you understand what I'm saying? In any industry, you're going to come to the older guys in front and say, all right, here what's happening. I know you have your talent, but you see now this big bag, this what I got. The defenders
Yeah.
them, I got to do this, I got to do that, learn, watch me. Then when I'm sub you on, certain
You have
things.
to have a mindset to learn.
I was just
as well.
about to say it's the
So-
mentality too.
So that's what you're getting. You don't just get up and just decide so you know everything about music. Why? Because you have YouTube and you think you just know things
and you
and
get $1 million in a day.
you know what I'm saying? Exactly. And I said, stop paying attention to this North American stuff. Bro, our thing is different, bro. We have our own thing we can do.
Metric.
Don't watch what they're doing and all their talk shows about like, independent, fuck majors. Stop that. Stop following that. We have a system which work and which we can continue to work. And 99% of us are going to have to work with that system. So yeah, while you're trying to get your major label deal, you can do this and make this work. But we're in a different space, bro. We do music because we love music. I don't know what they're doing music for. Why do you interview artists? You love music or you just love clicks and views?
I love music.
You start at loving music
Yep.
because you did it for years before you had the clicks and views.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Right? And putting the time and the effort and the money and everything and broke and ray and miserable
Yep.
and you still do it.
Super, bro.
Rock!
Right.
Brokey.
Super, bro. When we tell people the origin stories, that they would be so surprised.
So-
But I feel like we're rich now,
What?
either.
Yeah, but I feel so neither. But I feel so.
But I'm
The God-
saying
the
you
God
do
has
it
been
because you
good.
care and have an interest.
Yeah.
I question sometimes when I see some of these artists come out now, if you're doing this for music.
Nah, no for them, man.
Because I'm doing the math and I'm like, well, you're not making any money. You don't tour. Nigel, you ever see these guys on tour? No, Jeremy, they don't. They have no visas. They're not doing no shows nowhere.
So
But they have
why?
they have 25 music videos though. Yes, apparently they do. And they're all very high quality. But I've never seen them on a plane. They don't do shows.
Can't tell them, so them no shot neither, you know, so them thing not eating. Can't tell.
I'm just saying, so we're doing it now and saying, okay, then how does that really work? Then you're not a part of a professional music industry then.
No.
You're a man voicing songs in your kitchen on a laptop with a beat that you got off of YouTube.
It's in my closet.
I'm putting
Jeremy,
it
not my
out.
kitchen.
Okay? So you're not a part of the industry.
Oh, God.
And then you start to say, wait until you see the lineup for some fest this year. Because I've seen it. And you guys see how small it is.
A
How
Cartel.
few people are on the 2 nights.
Cartel, Taros. Who them are pushing on Cartel, Taros. Ting Massacre?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So far, yeah.
Wait till you see the small amount of artists.
Because
on
they
both
can't
nights.
afford to pay so much people anyway.
They don't have the interest
Yeah,
to put anybody else on the show.
Yeah, there's a little piety on the interest.
Okay.
The interest isn't there.
Interest from them and interest from the people.
So the show is shrinking.
Good. It can't stand up so long.
I'm just saying though, you can't sit there and say everything is right with dancehall, we're on the rise and in your own place of Jamaica, the biggest show of dancehall and reggae, the touted biggest show in the world, Baglan, which I was talk about, you have to shrink the show and put less artists because there's less of an appetite for these people
Yeah,
and you have less of a budget to pay them.
very telling.
So you're not on an upward trajectory. You're winding it down.
Jeremy, you make me feel sad.
Yeah, Jeremy, we have to say that. Oh, God. You always wanted him do, man. Do.
But and on a
Just
positive.
being honest.
And on a positive, like
Yeah.
what are you seeing right now in dancehall where there is some hope if just like a small course
A little
course
glimmer of
correct,
hope.
yeah.
I like the fact that they're not being so beholden to the quote unquote trap dancehall sound. I mean, whoever loves it and whatever. It's fine. I'm not decrying it, but it comes to a point where everything starts to sound the same over, you know what I mean? Over a period of time, like every beat sound the same,
Yeah,
every
the
lyric
topic.
is the same, everything is the same, every topic is the same, every music video is the same. It's all the same, and so you want to feel that okay, there's some amount of creativity being introduced in the fact now that people are like, you know, we don't really have to do that same beat. We can mix it up. We can do this style of beat. But if they draw back for something old or new or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But the fact you want to be different, and that's refreshing. It's refreshing to see new artists which are kind of trying to do different flows and do different topics and not trying to just be on the same thing over and over.
What about the artists that you see doing like the stadium arena shows? We've seen quite a bit of recently. Not really Skilly, but like Cartel, Bounty Killer.
Okay,
I
so
don't
Cartel and
know.
Bounty
I don't
Killer
know.
are on a... Bounty hasn't had a visa for how long? So he's going to be on a bounce to come by. Everybody wants to see him. Cartel is the same thing.
Yeah.
They locked up for however long, we haven't seen Cartel forever, so you're going to sell out shows, obviously. So you're on that bounce for you. know what I mean? So that's great. People that don't have visas. There, Popcorn just get visa. We're happy for all of these guys. Go out
Popcorn
there.
get visa?
No, not Popcorn.
Oh.
Popcorn not getting US visa yet. No.
What do you mean? Didn't see on Instagram landed in Miami? He's talking about I'm here?
No, that was some trolling thing.
Seriously?
Yeah, that was
okay.
okay.
Well, anyway,
That would have been big news.
the point I'm saying is that
so would
more
that
and
be
more of
free?
them,
Yeah.
it starts to look like the thing is freeing up and they're getting out there. So we're happy for them.
The
But there's
big,
going to be like a bounce where people haven't seen you for so long. So you're going to ram up the show and you're going to do all of that. So that's great. But how's that work moving forward? Are you going to go sell out Barclays next year too? With 2 shows? Not unless you have new music, which is going to make an impact. You follow what I'm saying? So you're always going to have to be conscious of the fact that you still need to keep feeding the audience the new music. You still need to create that excitement. So the positivities, if I would say, is, well, I love the music video productions, I told you. The quality is sky high for that stuff. It's fantastic. That's good. The fact that they're kind of moving away from the distinguishable trap dancehall sound a little bit, I think that's also good. You always need new blood and new people with new ideas to come into the space. So you're always going to encourage new artists to come into the space. And you're going to expect them to stumble and fall a little bit. And they need to understand that you don't have to come out of the gate swinging and within 6 months, you know what I'm saying, you're driving a freaking Cybertruck and, you know what I'm saying, you have like an AP on your hand and those things. Like, it's going to take time to build the thing. So don't use that as a benchmark of your success. All right, take time with your thing and build up your thing and build up your catalog. And your focus should be like on, I need to be able to go and do a show. Can I perform first for 20 minutes? Then you're going to say, because Nigel will gauge it like this. When you work with artists for some fest, he'll tell you on the list how much time a man have. This man, 20 minutes. That man, 35 minutes. That man, 45 minutes. That man is an hour. And it's based on their catalog and what they can do out there. He did the shows with the same Molly girl.
Yeah.
Shake It to the Max. He said
Yeah.
Jeremy should sing the one song for half hour.
Damn.
Right?
Pull up.
You know what I'm saying? But,
No more.
But and big her up to on what she's doing. But what he was saying, that she's a brand new artist, she don't know more song.
Yeah.
But that song is so big that she milking it on every show she goes.
And apparently she's independent.
Yeah.
Right, do the song, right. Well, so we'll see what really happens. But so you'd start
get
that way as a
signed.
young artist. How long, what does my catalog look like? Like, can I perform for 10 minutes, 20 minutes? Can I do half hour? Can I do 40 minutes? Can I do 45 minutes? That means, can I perform and sing 45 minutes worth of songs that people know? Not
Not
just,
get bored.
I have 45 minutes worth of music. No, it's a song that you can sing and which are hits, which people know, whether it's core hits. So you need to be thinking in that aspect too about building up your catalog and taking time to do it. You know what I mean? Some people have like a one massive song and bust, and it's big excitement. By next year, we don't hear nothing about them. You know what I mean? So on the positive thing, I think that's what you should do. And you need to stick to the path and understand you're always selling culture. So when you make decisions to start rapping and to start doing those things, you're throwing away the culture with it. And until you prove me wrong, right, I'm going to say to you, it ain't going to work. I immediately look at it, it's not going to work. You know why? Because there's better rappers than you out there. No matter how good you think you are, actual rappers wrap circles around you. What you're good at doing is DJing or doing your Jamaican style singing or whatever you want to call what you're doing.
So stick to
That's
that.
what you're good at because they can't sound like that.
Yeah.
So a kid in America who is on his laptop, on his YouTube, on his Spotify, or some person in some radio, they're going to be like, what is this? You're trying to rap, but you can't. You can't out-rap the girls. You can't out-rap Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. It's impossible because it's not your culture. You just don't have it. You can rhyme words and put things together. But I'm just saying though, you can't. And in the same way, no, and in the same way, our dancehall producers, our dancehall producers, we can't make a hip hop rhythm beat like those guys can. We can try. It's gonna sound close. We're gonna download the same songs from Splice. We're gonna watch YouTube. This is how you make a trap beat. We're gonna do it. But there's just an essence that we just always are
It's
gonna
in
miss.
you.
Authenticity.
It's in you.
We're gonna miss it.
It's in you.
And when they try to make dancehall stuff, we're always going, It's like, you know, even like the J-Lo's or whatever people, they make a little kind of dancehall type of records, and we listen to it and like,
It's missing something.
it just, they don't have the same thing. This thing that we have. When people come to Jamaica, where they always say where they want to eat jerk chicken right away. You think I can tell? Well, there's a sushi place that we love to go to. I go there with Nara all the way. They're like, sushi? I ain't come to Jamaica for fucking sushi. Right?
Jeremy, shut the fuck up.
You know what I'm saying?
You're so negative.
We'll go. They come here, they want jerk chicken, they want jerk pork, they want
Fatty,
Ackee and saltfish,
Yeah.
they want white
the culture,
rum
they want
to
the
drink. They
culture.
want that, bro. They're not coming here
want
for
the culture.
sushi and Italian food.
Never
And
ate sushi.
they're not.
I ate.
You actually ate sushi?
Yeah. For
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
Him,
that
him
type
don't
of
eat
seafood.
fish.
Yeah,
Him
we don't-
don't
we don't
eat
eat
fish.
sea-
One
food.
time,
What do you
one
mean?
time,
You don't eat Jamaican fish
We
then?
don't eat seafood none.
one time we got up to Port Royal, where I said where I get fish, and they had like fish, lobster, like it was mostly seafood.
Yeah,
And
got
there-
fried chicken.
There is
You
like
don't eat shellfish at all?
Nah.
nothing.
fish.
Are you allergic to it?
No,
No.
that's not like not sea creature now.
She's allergic to shellfish.
But I have a legit reason. He's
Oh, you're
like,
allergic to shellfish?
Yeah.
No,
Really?
but that's
Lobster,
like-
shrimp, all those things, carry
Yeah.
crab?
He like crab.
Can't
but
have
maybe
it.
little
Me
lobster. but-
suck out the crab them and the shrimp, the pepper
Oh my
shrimp.
God, you guys are missing out.
couldn't
Me, you guys,
Oh,
they
them.
guys,
Oh, okay.
they guys.
Yeah, yeah.
I eat everything, everything.
Jeremy, time ago, we give thanks for your time. Jaja.
Wow.
What
How
a
much time over to you?
conversation.
We've been for this for a while. You've
Yes,
been
yes.
invited us. You've been.
I've been. I'm
having
glad you
invited us
guys
to your
came.
studio
I'm
and
glad it's to
everything,
the
and
space.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Nice.
you know what I'm saying? It's good.
You're
Nice.
not, boss J-Star, you're not ask
No,
Jeremy for.
Jeremy, we
record
have an artist
J-Star.
here that we wanted to actually work with. Her name is J Star. Where again? Where dance on name again?
Lil Jobs.
That's the rapper
Oh.
one.
Oh, J-Star is rap.
J-Star is the dancehall.
Oh, J Star the dancer.
Yeah.
So the rapper.
Little
Lil
Jab.
Jabs.
Lil Jabs.
Little j-
Yeah, Jeremy, I gotta eat the fuck
You
out.
gotta
of
have the little.
that. Jeremy, I gotta most. Yo, give us
Jab-
fucking J Star.
Jabby, get out.
Hey, if I hear just rap
Yeah.
a single bar, the man I run out and stuff. So,
Jeremy
rap with
just
J
said,
Star.
you could rhyme.
You can't rhyme, but you know. Yeah, so I work
Prove
with
me
J Star.
wrong. All,
my
where the
gosh.
camera? Where look at
You
camera?
right there, right there.
Prove me wrong.
Prove me
All
wrong.
of you, prove me wrong. Make your rap albums, make
Yeah.
your trap records, become pop artists,
Yeah.
do all that. Go out there and
blow up.
compete with Future and Drake
Yeah.
and Taylor Swift and everybody.
And the
just
Lados
prove me
and
wrong.
them
There you
stuff
go.
and
And then
yeah.
everybody just shuts up and then anybody can just do what they want to do.
So then you
And what
are
I'm
you on
saying-
record? Would you be willing to say, I, Jeremy, Miguel, I don't know why you Miguel.
Miguel?
Yeah,
Am I
Jeremy.
Mexican? Why is my name
Yeah, them
Miguel?
as them look like him, Miguel.
Jeremy Alexander Harding.
Yeah.
Jeremy Zachary. I don't know. I joke.
Yeah,
But
that's his brother. Yeah.
I was wrong. Would you-
100%.
Okay. You'd be
100%.
willing.
Prove us.
Okay.
But you know what happened? When you prove me wrong, we still win. Because then that means more Jamaicans and more Jamaican artists and more Jamaican music and everybody will be out there in the stratosphere and it will open up the door for everybody. So you're going to win.
Exactly. And that
Anyway,
means
you're going to
that
win.
put
But
in
what
the
you're
work.
doing now, you're not winning. Recognize that. You are not winning. You are getting out of your deals. You are getting dropped. The African dancehall is here. Burna Boy is singing reggae. We aren't winning.
You fucking loser.
None of this is winning. You understand what I'm saying? none of it is winning. So but prove me wrong and then go out there and win. And we'll all win together.
Wow, Ari's dying at that joke.
She really loved that joke.
I will have to go cut that out.
What?
So there you have it. Prove Jeremy Harding wrong.
Yeah, and he'll come back on this platform,
platform
and
and
say,
say,
I, Jeremy Zachary Miguel Alexander
Who's
Harding.
Miguel part dropping?
Yeah, Miguel over there, Miguel, you know, I was convinced.
Uptown Rebel.
Exactly.
AKA Uptown Rebel Jeremy.
Was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wrong. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, the fix. Thanks everybody.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thanks to everybody in the comment section who is going to slay me. I see you out there already. I'm not even going to bother read it, but go
No
ahead.
matter,
read
I
it.
would not matter with that, Jeremy, there are going to be a lot of people that agree with you.
Yes. You dropped a lot of gems.
A whole lot
Me I
of
tell you,
them.
like me I look for him and I say, wait, me say something no, but me I say no, you
No,
cannot
let
answer
him,
the
let him
question.
cook. Let him
Yeah,
cook.
yeah.
Let him cook. And I
Yeah.
want to tell that the people them really appreciate these type of conversations, like these music nerd conversations.
Yeah.
There are people out there that appreciate
Because
that.
they don't have
And
access
we
to
appreciate being a part of these conversations, having
Yes.
these conversations.
because they don't have access. Like there are so many people who want the information, who wish they could get access
Yeah.
to the information, who somebody like you who the success you've had with Beanie Man, Sean Paul, and a bunch of other artists, and it's like, you know, them wish they could get it, but you know, them just a try, them a figure out themselves, but this is a platform and an avenue where they get information, and we're glad that we
Exactly.
can provide it. Thank you so much.
Well, that's good. And thank you guys for everything that
Jeremy,
you do as well in this
Miguel.
space.
All right.
Lord, the man name.
I don't know why she's still. No, in real life, we give thanks. You're one of the
For
individuals out there within the music space that support us. You're at our 10th anniversary event,
Yes.
and we appreciate the support. And we consider ourselves lucky that we can, you're somebody who can bounce ideas off of, and we can, have conversations
Right.
about music.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, we consider ourselves really lucky.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate that too.
Yeah, man.
Thanks much.
Hey.
All right, guys.
It was Jeremy Harding at the fix. It's been 2 hours.
Yes.
Open what? Well, I'll put up over 2 hours. You know what I mean? Over 2 hour long conversation. But yeah, I we that people. We gone. Keep cool.
All right.